Yes, my friends, welcome back. How you guys are doing this evening? Doing something a little bit different. Looking to experiment by possibly creating a post-match type of call-in show where we discuss everything that happened after the game. You know what Pochettino had to say, all that good stuff. I'll give you guys an example of how the format is looking like. Was working on this today. Had a lot of technical difficulties, which is really annoying. I'm just not a tech guy. I need to keep things absolutely real. But but yes, it's been a very long evening. I can't lie. But I'm giving you guys an example of the format I'm seeing for this type of shows. So if you guys want to see more of this, hopefully it's gonna work good. If you guys want to take part in the call-in show as well, check the description. Description below will tell you how to take part if you want to share your thoughts and opinions on the game, or any news or anything that you're feeling. Obviously, you will be on Skype, so of course, if you want your camera on, leave your camera on. If not, leave your camera off. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well today. I hope you guys are excited to take part in the show. I definitely want to hear some of your thoughts and opinions. So as I'm saying, description will have all the information you need to take part in this call-in show. But anyway, my friends, how you guys are doing tonight? Raz, yes, bro. How are you? Max, haha, Safi. Who do we get then? I'm guessing you guys are already thinking about managers already, yeah? Fair enough. I don't blame you after the game today. I don't blame you. Mo7 Beats, how you doing, man? This is how you know we're in a crisis. NiiNii doing a live stream just to discuss how bad we are. Yeah. I feel you. Yeah, sorry, the title is a bit wrong. I think I'm living in cuckoo land right now. I still can't accept that we've lost to Everton today, clearly. Anyway, I've changed the title now. Thanks for that heads up, man. Shani King, big up. Yes, bro, how you doing? Max, I mean, Flick is an option, but I don't know how people feel about him. I feel you. Duncan, I can't bear to watch another video about how bad my team is. I feel you guys, I feel you. But like, if you guys want to take part in voicing your opinions live in the stream, obviously go to the description. You'll find all the links you need to obviously add my Skype and then obviously be a caller in the show, right? But anyway, I guess the best place to start off is by discussing what went down with Pochettino's post-match thoughts, yeah? Because I think this is a manager that's feeling the frustration right now. I think Poch feels a bit validated, I guess, with his opinions based on the fact that, okay, did he get the experience he wanted in the market? Did he get the, specific talents and players that he wanted? I'm not too sure. Not too sure at all, to be fair with you. And I'm curious to see what the response is going to be like, obviously, in the January window. What type of players are we going to sign? It's clear that Poch wants to add to the team. And my thing is, if he does add to the team, yeah, this must mean that we're really serious about backing him. Because the last thing I want is we're signing players for a manager that might not have a long shelf life. I feel like we've been in this scenario time and time again. I think it can't be the solution going forwards. And I think that if we are fully backing Poch, it must come, in my opinion, with accepting the consequences of, okay, if we still don't get Champions League football, you'll have another season to build. I think we're at that point now because, if we keep hiring and firing, we just undermine the projects. We undermine anything to potential suitors. We undermine the club's vision towards any players we're hoping to sign, because what trust or faith are you going to have in, like, realistically, I'm going to play Pochettino's press conference. Hopefully you guys can hear things okay. If not, I'm just going to read the blubs in regards to the key points Poch was talking about today. But yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So let me just get Pochettino's exact quotes up on screen. Every word said by Pochettino, courtesy of Football London. Thank God for them. And Poch is discussing, obviously, what went wrong today. As he says, we didn't score. You dominate the game. I think we were the better side. But if you don't score goals, it is difficult to win games. We didn't receive enough in the final third. So far, it has looked like we have. We had progress in this area, but today we showed lack of productivity in the last final third, which is a story of our season. We've seen no consistent developments when it comes to breaking down teams that park the bus and play without possession. He goes on to say, we had many chances, too many approaches in the final third, but if you have not received enough and shows you can compete with quality, there it is difficult to win the game. Sorry, like the website I'm reading Pochettino's quotes from, that they did not try and correct the English at all. So apologies if I'm sounding a bit mad right now. Anyway, he says, yes, lack of concentration, we conceded 1 goal, but obviously we should have scored before. But I'm thinking to myself, what were those clear-cut chances we had to actually, guarantee ourselves a goal in the first half of the second half? I can't really think of too many big ones, to be fair with you. And I think the stats kind of showed that realistically, I don't think we had the best, capabilities today to win the game. So I'm going to quickly just go into SofaScore right now. Bear with me. Going on to SofaScore, let's look at the stats for the game today. And going to the stats, obviously our XG was basically non-existent in the game today. Shots, we had more, but we had less on target compared to Everton. And I think in terms of big chances made, there was zero. There were 0 big chances made throughout this whole game. There was 0 big chances missed because we didn't create a single thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, realistically, what is Pochettino referring to in terms of taking opportunities? Because I didn't see any. I saw a striker that was isolated in the final third, as they tend to always be. I saw not enough men inside the box. I saw a lack of possibilities. Our only outlet is putting crosses inside the box, either from Mudryk or from Sterling, and it feels like there isn't enough solutions to unlock and break down these teams, and it gets a bit frustrating, to be fair with you. So I'm not too sure what Pochettino's referring to in terms of the opportunities we made in the game, because we didn't really make a single thing, counter-attacks, it was 1. I think in terms of block shots, I think most shots were blocked compared to even testing the goalkeeper. We can see the shot map right here. Gallagher had an opportunity. Look at the XG, 0.01. Efforts outside the box, 0.05, 0.03. It's just you're not going to score goals. I know Cole Palmer was forcing things outside the box today, but not one effort was on target or forced to save from the keeper, other than a deflection. And it's just where was the opportunity to score? I know Enzo had a decent moment in the game. He had a decent opportunity. Let me try and put this better on screen so you guys can see what's actually going on. Yeah, bear with me, my friends. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm still getting used to using OBS. I'm not perfect with things. I want to get better though, because I think there's a lot of potential using OBS. But I'm saying, the XG is non-existent, man. It's not there. It's not there at all. At all whatsoever. 0.02 here, 0.03 there, 0.01, 0.05. It's not working. It's not happening. So I think Poch has to explain what he means, to be fair with you. In my opinion, I think he's saving face a little bit. Naturally, you're going to do that. You'll be a bit defensive in the press conferences. He must be a bit tired, forever discussing defeats and mistakes and the same old thing. What can he really say? And to be fair with you, I feel the post-match talks are getting smaller and smaller, because there really isn't much to add to what's happening right now. But going on to continue on, Poch was asked what went wrong today, and as he said, we didn't score. You dominate the game. I think we were the better side, but if you don't score goals, it is difficult to win games. We didn't receive enough in the last thirds. So far it has looked like we had progress in this area, but today we showed a lack of productivity in the last thirds. We have too many chances, too many approaches, blah blah blah. I mean, it's really not happening. And I guess one of the key points from the press conference today was Pochettino revealing that he wants more additions now in January, which I guess makes a lot of sense. Obviously, as he says, I think it's about to improve. We were talking about nearly 4 to 5 months or 16 games. It's about to assess. My God. We were not able today, with all the chances we had. We need to score if we want to win the game, and we want to be in a different position in the table. It is not only to play. The team played well, dominated the game against a very difficult team like Everton. When you assess Everton, we deserve full credit because I think we were much better than them. But in the end, you need to score because if not, you build the confidence of the opponent. And it is impossible to go 96 minutes without making a mistake. I think obviously for a team like us, we need to score goals first. I think it's clear. Yes, I got one of my first potential callers coming on soon. Yes, bro. I'll get back to you in a min. In 1 sec, make sure no background audio. So I guess the main question is going to be, what additions is he hoping to make? I feel like I'm going to ask you guys in the chat right now while I'm like posing the question. But if there were 3 players or 3 signings you could make and you're Pochettino, what positions are you targeting? That's what I'm curious to know from what you guys are saying right now. Before we go on though, I do have a super chat. Apologies to NiiNiiFC. Sorry about that, bro. Cole is poor in 1v1 and doesn't press attackers. Well, to be fair, he is kind of playing more left back. There's going to be some difficulties there. I don't think he's been as terrible and awful, but he's obviously not playing to the best of his strengths. Not gonna lie, I thought he'd be playing more on the left sides of a back four compared to playing this left back role. And I think naturally there's gonna be some growing pains in that position. But if you ask me, if I had to use Badia, Schilder or Cole, I think we'll get the same output. It won't be any different. So it's not like Cole was accustomed to being like an out and out left back. And I don't see him regularly getting beaten compared to like a Cucurella and Cole. So I don't know. I know that Cole was getting some criticism, but I feel like it's too easy to just criticize the young guy, if I'm being honest with you. You know what I mean? Like he's playing out of position, doing what he's supposed to do to the best of his abilities right now. I'd rather see what he does playing in his best position before I start really sticking it on him and saying if he's good enough or not, to be fair with you. But moving on, hard. Now you can tell NiiNii wants to laugh reading this broken English waffle and Pochettino's accent. Like, I feel like it was a complete mistake to just literally read it word for words. I feel like the website could have made life a bit easier. I'm not gonna lie. But you know what? I think to break things up now, this is my first time having a caller in years. Like when I first started doing the channel, I was using Google Hangouts. I know that doesn't even exist anymore, but Google Hangouts, if you guys are like OG Blue Lines TV watchers, that used to be the place that people would use, obviously, to come on and voice their opinions. So I'm a little bit nervous for this one. I'm going to have my first caller on now, and I'm curious to see if it's going to work to how I'm hoping it is, not going to lie. So fingers crossed it all goes to plan, man. Yo, Mohammed, can you hear me, bro? Yes, how you doing? Are you going to keep your webcam off? Okay, perfect. Anyway, my friends, let's introduce Mohammed Jamal to the show right now. You guys in the chat, let me know if you can hear the discussion. I'm hoping you can. I think you should be able to. It's taken me a while to set this up, but I think we should be all right. But anyway, Jamal, Mohammed, sorry, bro. Obviously today, another disappointing result. What do you want to say about the game, man?
I couldn't watch the full game. I watched the second half, and honestly, every time we play against low blocks, I feel like we don't really get it into like the final third as quickly as we want to. Mm-hmm. We always play side to side with the center backs, which honestly, it won't help us at all. And when Reece James got injured, I knew like we won't really have fullbacks that can, drive there and give us good crosses, because Cucurella, he's mostly a guy that just stays back.
Yeah.
Mostly he's like a center back, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
So Ian Maddison, I feel like we should have brought them earlier on, because Mudryk and Ian Maddison down that left side is very dangerous. I feel like we should try to do that more often. Probably we should probably start that against Sheffield United, in my opinion. But just a very poor performance, and I'm not really a Pochettino out guy because I mean, who else are we gonna get? Like, I don't think there's really anyone in the market that we could really get.
Yeah.
But yeah, disappointing performance. Overall, really bad performance, and yeah, hopefully, Sheffield United, at least we do better and actually win the game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the point you made, Sue, bro, about obviously, we're not moving the ball quickly enough in the final third. I think you're definitely spot on with that. I mean, I was kind of noticing a lot of like issues on that right hand side. Obviously, when Reece went off, as you're saying, when James is off, that's going to kill a lot of your attacking plans, right? That's going to kill a lot of that potential for what you can do in the final third. James, not only does he defend sick, but he literally is that attack down that right hand side. And I just felt like we lost a lot of width and we lost a lot of like shape and balance in the team. And I just felt like with like Palmer and Cucurella on the right hand side, both like left footers, it was encouraging a lot of like negative backwards passes. And as you're saying, we didn't really get the ball quickly in Everton's thirds.
Yeah, I agree. And also, another thing I want to say is Cole Palmer and like Cucurella down the right side is very inverted.
Yeah.
Like, they play inverted, so there's no balance because Levi Kola is a center back, and then we only have Mudryk who can actually give us width. So it really couldn't work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously that last 20 minutes we saw in the game, I felt like, why didn't we see this at the start? I felt like even though we weren't necessarily, like 10 times a better team, I felt like at least there was some balance there to start to create some threat against Everton. And I guess for me, I was a bit disappointed that it took Pochettino so long to like make those decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes like I had a criticism with Pochettino, like he does do sometimes these substitutions like way too late. Like the game was basically like over, and we bring in like Broha in, like who's usually in the bench, and then we bring in attacking threats, and then all of a sudden, the last 10 minutes, now we're playing good. Like that, it pisses me off honestly when that happens.
Yeah. I mean, we're still waiting for Poch. He has his moments this season where he's got the sub spot on or the approach of the game spot on, but there has been some inconsistencies there. But anyway, bros, anything else you want to add in terms of like prevailing thoughts, or maybe are you someone that feels like you want to give Pochettino more time, or are you even open to looking at new possibilities now? Like, where are you feeling?
I don't really think we have that much option to. I feel like we have to keep Pochettino, and it'll be good for us if we give him this year, and next year we give him like just I say 2 signings minimum, maybe 3, because if we go up and go another summer spending spree, we will probably be in the same position again. And then second season is we have to get top 4.
Yeah.
If we don't get top 4, then I'm a Pochettino out guy. But this season I'll cut him some slack. Just we need consistency.
Are you like cutting slack in the sense that you'd be open to not getting Champions League football this season, or you feel like you need to see us secure a top 4 spot?
Honestly, this season I don't think we can, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But after that Everton loss, I was optimistic. If we beat Everton, we had like very easy games. So I was like, if we keep this momentum up, maybe we can push for top 4. But not now. I honestly don't think we will.
Yeah, I think the dream's over. But anyway, bro, if that's everything you got to say, where can people find you? Do you want to shout out any Twitter accounts or anything like that?
Yeah, my Twitter account is CFC Mohammed. If you want to follow me there. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, bro. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and opinions. And you guys, if you want to like share your thoughts too, obviously description below will have all the information you need to like, add me on Skype, and then obviously, follow the details on screen. Obviously, shout out to ChatGPT for getting the description ready for me. I forgot how handy that site is sometimes. But anyway, thank you, bro. And yeah, I'm going to bring on the next caller then. You guys bear with me. Yes, Raz, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. I can hear you perfect,
Okay,
bro. Cool. I'm
that's
gonna
great.
have you on screen now. Obviously, the next caller is Raz. How you doing, bro? What's your thoughts and opinions, man? I mean, it's not been a great day.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the first half because I just couldn't. I watched the second,
Mhm.
and it was the same issues. The balance of the team is just off. The balance that we had in preseason was almost perfect with Nkunku and Carney playing in that left eight role,
Yeah.
and I feel like Pochettino is forcing Enzo. My main gripe with Poch has been Enzo, his
Mm.
use of Enzo. The first game that we played against Liverpool, he was
Mhm.
getting so much praise from rival fans, from Chelsea fans for running the game, and he did it in the right centre mid role.
Mhm.
And I feel like in the Prem, when Enzo plays on the left, he's always getting pressed. Even against Nottingham Forest, where we had the ball, there was always at least a player anticipating Enzo getting the ball. And when Enzo gets the ball, he has to take half a second to shift it to his right and open up.
Yeah.
And so he can't play the passes that he wants to play. Now we've seen Poch force him back into the higher up left 10 role, and I really do not like it. It doesn't suit Enzo at all. For me, I think he's best in Gallagher's role. If you
Yeah.
just swap the two, it makes so much more sense.
It's such a weird one because like there have been games where we have seen them swap it because like this isn't the first time we've like noticed this type of deficiency. Like we've made the same complaints. I just feel like when Enzo has to play more half space, he loses a lot of what makes Enzo Enzo. You know, like I think Enzo for me, he has to be in the first phase and he must be allowed to like rise up through the second phase and the third phase. And I think he can be a good box to box mids, but I just feel like how he's being used right now, it's not working. And I think for me, what really frustrates me too is that I feel like there's a reluctance to push the left back further forward to support Mudryk and Enzo. I feel like when I watch him play, I'm seeing Enzo forced to make these wide runs to the left and sides so
Yeah,
so Mudryk can then cut inside, and it's just like Mudryk. Most times he's like a high volume guy. He will lose possession of the ball, and then you're kind of caught on the counter attack then because then Enzo's out of position, and I don't get why you're not just pushing up the left back to bring a bit more balance if you could have like what 72% possession in the game. So I
yeah.
fully agree with you.
Our, our only profile for playing left back at the moment that are fit is probably Ian Markson for that role that you're describing.
Yeah,
But he hasn't been trusted enough. Maybe it's because of his height. We're not the biggest team. We get dominated on set pieces.
yeah,
Like Caicedo isn't the biggest. He wins more headers than he should, but he's quite short. So when you just come up against taller players, there's almost only so much you can do, right?
yeah,
And for me, if the recruitment team just balanced the recruitment for this season, I feel like we could be in a much better position. For me, the responsibility really relies on the team, the board, and less on Poch because I think he's limited with what he can do. Let's say we had Khan's fit, I think our team would flow a lot better. And our left back profiles, apart from maybe Ben, who plays the traditional left back, the up and down, we
yeah,
don't really have it. We don't really have a good left back profile. Cucurella, even defensively, I don't think he's that great. When he's tight to a defender, when he's actually gets tight to his man, you see the best of Kuka.
hmm
But when he's doesn't get tight, he gets exposed.
yeah,
Teams target him. Like Man City, when we played against Man City, he was getting targeted. And then when he moves to right back, we play Man United. They were throwing 3 or 4 players overlapping on Cucurella.
hmm yeah.
So I think, I think our left back profiles aren't really that great. And I can't believe I'm saying we probably have to buy someone, which is crazy.
I know we already got three already. It's mad.
Yeah, we have 3 left, and Poch doesn't even play them.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously,
It's
Chilwell.
crazy. But like, what? Obviously during pre-season, we did see Ben play more as a left back. And I guess that's what made the start of the Prem season more disappointing when Ben was playing more left wing than left back because like he was bringing those overlaps on the left sides, like in pre-season, we were seeing a team that was, there's a reason why the whole fan base was a bit excited during pre-season because we were playing the right way. We looked like we had an identity. We looked like we had a balance. We had this like, creativity in the final thirds. And obviously, when you got Nkunku and Ben, that's going to make a big difference, for what you're going to do down that left hand side, right? And listen, I know that with management, it's not as simple as, you can only. Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. I feel like as a manager, you can't only expect to only play your best football with your best players. I feel like there should have been a workaround. There should have been a plan B by now. And I just think some of the solutions aren't really making as much sense right now. We aren't seeing any improvements in terms of breaking down these teams that sit back and defend. And when we have interesting options like a Maatsen, I agree. Going back to what Sari said, right, about why like Alonso was in the team over Emerson at the time was because I need height. It's the Premier League. We can see from set pieces. We know that. But I just feel like there's got to be a risk and reward sometimes. Like, you're playing against a team that's only parking the bus, bro. Like, come on. Like, you need to get the first goal.
Just to caveat that a little bit, sometimes I feel like Poch can't switch it up. He can't start inverting fullbacks or doing certain things because there's a system that he's been trying to play since Carney has been injured. But he just doesn't have the profiles. But if he goes away from that system, it's just going to look like a complete mess. We don't have the spine and the cohesion set in place to be able to make these kind of changes. I do get annoyed at Poch at times, and also his comments in the press conference. I feel like he's trying to explain things, but he doesn't speak the best English, so he can't explain it. So he was saying something like, "Oh, we were entering the final third, but we weren't making proper incisions." But he didn't say it in the best way, so I don't think people understood what he was trying to say.
I agree. I mean, sometimes I try to give a bit of leniency. It's not his first language. Like, I remember when people used to stick it on Sari as well.
Yes.
It's like, bro, come on.
I hated the hate that he got. I was such a big advocate for Sari.
It was so forced. Like that comment on Kante and Jorginho, there was just like lost in translation. I was just like, come on, you guys. Like, what are you doing right now? But bro, like, obviously, you've got a few more minutes left. Outside of the game, are there any like prevalent thoughts you have in general? Like, are you still confident in Pochettino, or is that confidence wavering right now, or is your mind more about January and the type of additions we can make?
For me, coming into the season, I actually had zero expectations. For me, in my mind, I told my close friends, like, if Pochettino somehow is able to get us fifth, imagine we get fifth. I would say that's like a miracle. He's done wonders. Because if you change the whole squad, add loads of youngsters. Our recruitment has been literally 15-year-olds to 25-year-olds. We haven't signed any more. 20. We signed Kenji Pires, who just turned 16. For 20-odd million. So how can you expect to change the whole team, add all these youngsters, and expect cohesion, and change the manager like 2-3 times? We had even Bruno Saltor take over a match. So for me, it's more having patience with Poch. I'm completely happy with Poch for now, and I think he needs to get backed because this is not his team. This is Paul Winstanley's his team and Lawrence Stewart. This is their team. If Poch can get the chance to add a few players, a few experienced players, maybe 25, 26-year-olds that have a track record that can help us build a spine, I think then you can judge Poch. Obviously, you can criticize his mistakes, but for me, it's mainly on the board. If they're expecting Champions League football this season, I think that's naive. That's so naive. It's ridiculous if they're expecting that of Poch.
Sorry, bro, not to even put you on the spot like that, but obviously, if Poch can maybe sign an experienced player, is there any player that comes to mind for you, or like any position you think? Like, do you think we have a chance for Osimhen, or is this just like a fantasy that needs to like get killed now?
The thing is, like, for Osimhen, according to reports, he has some sort of affinity or like love for our club. So maybe getting him in, you can get to play with Enzo, you get to play with Caicedo, maybe that will help. But getting Osimhen, especially in January, is ridiculous. We can't expect anything in January. Like, our expectations have to be bottom of the barrel since we're literally below mid-table. We can't even chat to even Tottenham right now. We're chatting to Fulham, we're chatting to Brentford, Wolves, Palace. That's who we're chatting to right now. Like, that's how bad it is right now. So for me, it's time to be patient. The time has come to be patient. People say they want to be patient, but when we start going through bad times, that's when they just lose it and say, "Oh, scrap the whole thing, scrap Poch, scrap the project."
Yeah.
Better to
Mourinho come back.
yeah, exactly. I think reassess how you wanna go with it, and maybe look at a striker. For me, Jackson, he has good attributes, but he also lacks like the main things of striking. He's like that natural box movement, his aerial ability. I think like I haven't seen much from winning aerial duels. He won one header against Brighton, a crucial header, but other than that, he hasn't done much. His link-up play, I've been really happy with it, and his dribbling. He was a winger, right? Like two seasons ago.
Yeah, he's played wide forward. He's played up front. Yeah, he knows his way about in the final thirds.
So, and then Broha, there's questions over Broha. Is he going to be the same? He showed glimpses of what he could do before today, but I think Broha is almost a complete profile.
Yeah,
I'm not sure which one we're going to stick with. Like, are we going to keep Jackson, sell Broha, or are we going to keep Broha, play Jackson on the left, or something like that? What are we going to do? And buy a main striker? What are we really going to do? I think Reece James needs to get his surgery.
Yeah.
Get that done. Bite the bullet.
No excuses now. I think so.
Keep Gustav fit as much as you can. Reassess our left back options. That is a serious place that we need to reassess. And apparently we want a centre back. And people are saying on Twitter, why are we getting?
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like for Fofana, there's questions over him. Chalobah and Silva are probably leaving, so that doesn't leave you with many options. That leaves you with three: Disasi, Colwell, Badiashile. You would probably need one more centre back if Fofana isn't up to standard. For me, maybe I say that we need to buy experience, but then we get linked with Diomande.
Yeah.
That excites me.
Right? I know, like, how can it not excite you when you're getting linked with names like that? But I do feel like, again, you know, like myself, I'm not an expert. You know, I'm also always like very open to like being wrong and stuff, and I'm not afraid to like say when I am. And you know, when the whole project was getting sold to us, obviously you're going off the energy, the ambition, the signings that are coming through, and you know, when people are moving with that type of energy, it's very hard to be skeptical, right? Especially with how, you know, aggressive the pursuits were. But it does kind of feel like, did we not prioritize the experience? You know, was Pochettino ignored too much? I mean, even when Poch is mentioning things in their press conferences, like, you know, Cole Palmer wasn't really my main option. This is what Shields and the rest of the guys are putting on me. Yeah, he was like, I didn't think we needed another attacking player, is what Poch said. But then the club obviously made that signing. And I think Poch has revealed a lot of times that he's very happy working with the directors and open to whatever, you know, players they provide for him. But, you know, there needs to be a bit of a balance. You know, I don't think managers should have full balance, full control, I mean. But there has to be a little bit of a balance if the manager feels like, no, I actually need some of these experienced guys to help me come through. But anyway, bro, Raz, appreciate you coming on. It's actually nice you know, I know you've been back in it for a while too, so it's nice to see what you look like. So yeah, appreciate that, man. Cool. Is there anything you want to, any shout outs? Where can people follow you?
Maybe Twitter, just RazJD on Twitter. That's about it.
Okay, sick. You know what? I should have said this in the description. I'll do it next time. But anytime someone comes on, leave your Twitter follow in the Skype chat, then I'll put it in the description and people can find you then.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, appreciate that, bro.
Right,
thanks, man.
Thank you for having me.
Cool, man. Okay, now I've got a few more calls coming on. You guys, don't be calling, you know, and just wait for me to get to you. You know what I mean? I'm accepting the ads. Don't worry, you'll get your say. Don't worry, I promise you'll get your say. But anyway, I've got another caller on right now, Mr. Eamon. Whenever you're ready, bro. Meantime, I'm just gonna put on I'm gonna ask some of your questions in the meantime as we're waiting. Master Sergeant Porter at least will change shit up when it's not working. Next game, strikers up front, we had Kai, we had Jackson, or any forwards last season, we would have been goods. Okay, cool. The caller is now on. Yes, bro, are you goods? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, really good, man. Thanks for coming on. And obviously, how are you feeling after the game? What do you want to say to everyone? What's on your minds? Talk, bro.
I mean, just horrible performance, you know?
Yeah.
It was really disappointing, especially our attack, you know? Mudryk, he did amazing up there. I mean, Broya had an alright start, you know?
Yeah.
And then Cole Palmer, good as usual. But honestly, it's just that lack of discipline now at this point, you know? So, sorry about the language, but it's just a shit. It was just a shit team.
Speak your truth, man. It was a very shit game today. Let's keep it real. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it real. Yeah, let's keep it real. Another thing, yeah, lack of discipline. And did they say anything about Reese's injury and like how long?
We got no confirmation on how long it is, but Poch confirmed that it is like a hamstring. So God knows how long he's gonna be out for.
Only God knows. Yep. And another thing is, Ian Matson, when he came on, we all of a sudden we just started playing fast, attacking football. And if we could play like if Ian Matson could start against Sheffield United, I can guarantee a win. I can guarantee a win, because Ian Matson, the way he just links up with Mudryk too was brilliant. And hopefully Reece James' injury isn't that bad. Hopefully it's just a precaution, and we're good. Another thing, I can't lie, bad issue. He was all right. I mean, Robert Sanchez, he needs to stop giving me heart attacks. You know.
Well, his distribution, you don't really rate his playing out from the back.
Playing out from the back. We've had that problem since Kepa too, playing out from the back. Because like Kepa would just, I don't even know where he would kick the ball. He would just kick it. And another thing, Raheem Sterling in that second half, really poor too. Another thing that we could really improve too, is that attack. Because Jackson Broya having like not the greatest striker we have at the club, you know.
Yeah.
We need more experience, like Ozyman. If we could get him in January, that would be perfect. Ozyman. Even maybe if we get linked with Liao would be perfect.
I think obviously Liao was a guy I always hoped we could get. Obviously, it's not the case. Osimhen, let's see what happens with that one. I think if you attempt to buy him in January, you're paying a premium on top of a premium. So it's going to be stupid money. That could be the whole budget for next season. And then it comes down to the fact for me, is it worth that risk if you know that Champions League football isn't going to come this season? Because like last January, we decided to splash 105 mil on Enzo when we could have signed Enzo for 88 million and have him guaranteed for this summer. And then Enzo wouldn't have known what defeat's like at this football club, in my opinion. But obviously we bit the bullet and we didn't get Champions League football. So I feel like it's going to be a big risk. We have to see what happens. But I get what you mean about the experience. Like for myself, our young strikers, they're not there aerially. You know, sometimes you need to put a cross in the 6-yard box or the far post or the near post, and you can't rely on them taking advantage of these moments and bearing these opportunities. And I just feel like we've probably missed a few goals this season just for missed headers. I know Kai was pretty decent at them. Obviously, we sold him. He could have been handy for these moments, but I get what you mean, bro. I feel like we are lacking experience up front. But to touch upon your point you were making about Maatsen, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who noticed that. I just thought that when Maatsen and Mudryk were playing together, I was seeing a bit of something, at least. Like, it wasn't for too long, but there was something there.
Yep, that's true. And another thing is, I think, you know how Poch said this whole thing would be a project, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing is a project. Well, I don't think that's the case. Because just look at us now. We spent almost £1 billion. Look at us, 12th place, absolute shit team. You know, just all in general.
Yeah, it's not an ideal situation. But bro, is there any last comments you have to make before we get the next caller in?
Nothing really. Just thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts and opinions, man. Really appreciate it. And where can the people find you?
Oh, yeah. Follow me at Twitter. Prime Mudrik TM.
Okay, Prime Mudrik TM. Appreciate that, bro. Take care, man.
You.
Bye.
All right, you too. Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna, before I bring on the other callers, I'll answer a few questions. I've got a few super chats. Miguel, appreciate that, bro. Thank you, man. I know you've been a long time subscriber. It'll be a long time for us to return to the top. It's better to hire the end game manager who will be here long term that plays possession style after season's over, by the way, which I understand. So are you basically alluding to the fact that you'd be open to even sacking Poch if he brought in the right manager now? Because then at least he has the rest of the season to like mold his ideas before obviously he gets replaced. Not before he gets replaced, but so he's like better prepared for next season, which I can understand. Obviously, we'd have to see what happens with Pochettino. I don't have too many strong concrete ideas around him just yet. I can accept that things are going against him a little bit, but at the same time, I can accept that he should be doing a bit better with being a bit bolder, making the right decisions, being a bit more aggressive when it comes to making changes in game and stuff like that. But it does feel like maybe the possession football we're seeing too is starting to plateau a little bit. It does feel like it encourages a lot of like backwards passing and a lot of predictable play down the right hand sides. So I feel like we have to see some changes there for sure. But I got another super chat from you too, Miguel. Appreciate it again, bro. Big fan of yours, NiiNii. In my opinion, we have been headed towards this decline for a while due to how bad our squad building was since 2015. I hear whispers of transfer ban, which is why we bought youth. And you know what? These little whispers and rumours, for sure, they're 100% rumours. They have been flowing around since like last season that one of the reasons why we're also spending big is in case of any potential transfer ban, which could be a possibility. So we have to see what happens with that one. Like if that was the case, then it provides a lot of context behind the level of spending we're seeing, and just why we're forcing so much soon. It provides context as to why we're also looking to another bit of context as to why players are getting long-term deals, because you're safeguarding their future. If you know that Enzo and Co will be here for the foreseeable future and they won't be moving on. So, we have to see what happens with that one. But I do agree. I do feel like with this football club, we've spent so much money over this past 10 years and we've really struggled to build upon any bit of success that we've found. Like every time we've won a league title or a Champions League, the level of spending hasn't been good enough. It's not enough to really keep the momentum going. It's not really improving the squads and taking it to another level. It's always like start and stop with us eternally. And I think it's starting to get shown up a bit now this season, especially as we've accelerated so much like change at this football club. We've been so aggressive, sacks anyone and everyone. And it's just really starting to show that it doesn't necessarily work. So Miguel, really appreciate that, bro. I'm going to answer a few more questions in the chat before I bring on the rest of the callers. AD, NiiNii, am I wrong to believe in the players we have? I know they have been underwhelming. Under-hit passes, no desire, no passion, no leaders on the pitch. Again, we've got no experience. We have no leaders. I feel like we have to cultivate and grow our leaders. I don't know who, other than Gallagher, I wouldn't even say he's like a leader that's like, communicating to the squads and, telling guys where to go and demanding that type of like authority. He's more of like a soldier, a general, in my opinion. He's not the leader. He's not the sergeant. So, we don't have those figures. And I think we notice that when things go against us, who are the players on the field that's going to, rally the troops and get us firing again? So I definitely hear you on that one. Max, Gallagher is dead. Yep, Nana K, the only manager to save Chelsea is Jose Mourinho. The lot of shouts for Mourinho. Ooh, I think maybe for another stream we can have that discussion. Minerals. Yeah, Gallagher is the only player we have for the badge. Yep, and it gives his all. I agree. Risk, NiiNii, don't you think Jackson can play on the left-hand side? I do think he can. I mean, listen, I'm no expert, and I always say I'm an armchair fan, but I felt like I could see where the game was going if we use a 4-3-3. I was kind of saying that in the preview, and I was like, I'm kind of open to seeing Jackson and Broja up front together. let these guys have the left channel and the right channel to themselves. You know what I mean? Let Cole Palmer supplement them in attack. Let's give something different for Everton to think about. You know, having 2 strikers in the books, I think we could have created a lot of issues against them, to be fair with you. So, you know, we do have players that we could use to at least like force situations a bit more, in my opinion. And I guess for the final question, keep cool. Chelsea players have no drive, and it's starting to feel like that. So right now, I'm gonna go bring on the next caller. Okay. Hey. If Zakaria's not here, then I'll bring on another caller. I'm gonna wait for Zakaria, give him like a minute before he comes on. If not, then he can just go on later. But I think for the next caller right now, Jordan Miranda, I'm about to let you come through, bro. So hopefully you are there. Yes, Jordan. You good, man?
Hey, yo. How you doing?
Yeah. Good to hear you, bro. Good to hear you. Are you ready to come through?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
I just have the family sleeping over there, so I have to...
Okay, perfect. Anyway, we got Jordan on screen now. Jordan Miranda. Yes, bro. What's your thoughts after today's loss?
To be honest, I think I agree with a lot of people who are saying stuff in the chat that it's been a long time coming, but I don't see why people are so surprised. I feel like it's one of those things where it's been coming for a really, really long time for a couple of things. One, I think no one's talking about how the Premier League has just shifted completely. Like, we had the stable top 6 teams. Mm-hmm. Now we have, I didn't even realize Aston Villa was in like 2 points from first till today. I was like, the Premier League's moving at such a weird pace that one of these teams is going to fall behind, and obviously it was going to be us.
Yeah.
You know, buying all these young players, bringing in the new manager. Everyone's talking about how badly Man United's doing, but that's because they've invested a lot in experienced players. They've had Ten Hag for 2 years now. We've just brought in Poch. Why? Like, having these comparisons is a bit, I don't know. I think it's a bit unfair. Not only that is, and I know this sounds like a bit of a Klopp moment, but we have had a lot of injuries. Like, our best player, Reece James, has been injured for most of the season. Today, gets injured again. Star signing Nkunku, who has any form of experience, again, sidelined. We've had just all these players injured. And then we have people like Jackson, who started off really well and just kind of teetered off.
Yeah.
And here's a question for you, because I don't really have a lot of Chelsea fans, so I don't really get feedback on this, and people as well can say this. What is our opinion on Mudryk? Because since that first Liverpool game, I think everyone got that Eden Hazard taste.
Yeah.
And we've just been like, oh, yes. And it just, whilst he's good on the ball, when it gets to this, that final pass or shot, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I feel like I'm sure you've probably seen that compilation of his debut against Liverpool again, and obviously, like, I remember feeling the excitement about his performance, but when I've rewatched it a few times, I kind of recontextualize things a bit differently, and it's like, oh, maybe Mudryk didn't really, like, he kind of revealed from day one what he was about, like a lot of promise, but not necessarily there, and I don't like to have such like concrete opinions around a guy that I still feel needs to get a few more run of games going together. I think he needs to build a bit more understanding with teammates and stuff like that. But I think to myself too, you know, do we do enough to get the best out of Mudryk? I think his instincts are always to cut inside. He wants to take shots and goal. He wants to connect the play. He wants to be a bit more central. And I think he always really benefited having like a partner in crime on the left hand side and like a fullback. And I just think that with Mudryk, his thing's always been since Shakhtar that he's a high volume type of player where, you know, if he's on the ball, maybe 4 times out of 10, he's going to beat his man and make something happen. But he needs to be able to have confidence in creating chaos in that sense, because he is going to get dispossessed. He is going to lose the ball. And I feel like once Mudryk stops trying, once he's in his head, that's when you don't see the best of him. And I think that's what De Zerbi did really well during his time at Shakhtar, and helping him get out of his head, get that professionalism, get that confidence in his game. And, you know, he did some great things for them. And I think we saw that in the Champions League. I mean, not many guys are getting standing ovations at the Bernabeu. So, you know, there is definitely something there. But I just think that if we're going to be, you know, how we break teams down currently, I just don't think it's exciting enough. And I just think maybe the biggest link that we're missing in this Poch system is the fact that we don't have that 10 guy like like an Nkunku or Kans. But then I have to also say, why the hell are you not playing Cole Palmer there? Like, why did he decide Palmer, you get 20 minutes to play as a 10, when you could see that he was kind of opening the pitch up a little bit. So I don't know, I just felt like this is where the manager's not always helping all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought up that point, because since day one, because I've not been a big Palmer fan, but I said if you put him in that 10, he can maybe do something. And I feel like what Poch is trying to do is almost a Bernardo Silva effect, where you have this winger who's not very pacey, but maybe reads the game very well and can bring in other players like Reece James or someone in the middle or something like that. But I just feel like it's not worked. And I can't remember the game. I think it was one or two games where he finally put him in the middle, and he looked great. Like, he was being involved in the game. He had those pockets of space to work through, and he always brought in someone like a Mudryk or a Sterling or even Jackson at times, letting him just like run around instead of trying to come in, like play deep. Even though Jackson was good at that, but he has this thing to play Palmer on the right, and I don't know why. Like, he's good, but he could be better.
Yeah, I feel like if he was a bit more involved centrally, and like when Reece James was off the field, for me, that Palmer on the right hand side the experiment should have died. He should have just been moved to the 10 position, and he bring on Raheem Sterling. And I think that's a lot more, that's a positive approach that's going to give a bit more confidence to the team. Because I just felt like too, you know, Armando Broja is just isolated throughout the game. You know what you're going to expect from a striker like that, who's going to rely upon service. And like one of the guys who's showing that he can, you know, find these guys in behind, Cole Palmer, you're playing him far away on the right hand side and not playing him close as a 10. So yeah, I was a little bit confused by that, to be fair with you. But yeah, man, hopefully hopefully against Sheffield United, you know, hopefully we're going to see a bit more positivity from Pochettino. I want to see Palmer 10, and I want to see Maatsen playing left back. I think there's no excuses now.
Yeah, and I want to see more aggression. I feel like because we brought in so many youngsters and so many new players, it's like there's no like we're Chelsea. Like, we should be grabbing these teams by the throat and going at them. It's almost like, oh, we need a win. Let's try and play this tactically. Where it's like, no, we are the bigger team. Show Sheffield United, Everton, we are the big.
No, fully agreed, man. But Jordan, man, really appreciate you coming on. Is there any final thoughts you want to say?
In terms of Chelsea, though, I think we all know where it's at. I do have some final thoughts for you.
Okay.
I just want to say thank you very much. I've watched your channel since like 6 years. I fucking love. Sorry for the language. I love your content.
No, I appreciate that.
Great content. And you're one of the reasons I started YouTube. So again, honestly, bro, I really appreciate everything you do.
Oh, that's cool to hear. Honestly, thanks a lot, man. Let me in the messages, the chat in Skype, send me your YouTube channel link, and I'll give that a look then.
Yeah. Oh no, thank you. It's gaming. It's nothing to do with football, so you don't have to. But
yeah. Okay. Cool. But let me know. I'm a bit of a gamer too. You know, I'm not just all football. So yeah. Yeah.
But no, thank you very much.
Appreciate that, man. Take care. Good night, man. Take care. Okay, so I'm gonna have on my next caller. Yeah, some very, very nice callers so far, of course. So I want to make this a bit consistent throughout the season. I think it'd be cool to have you guys share your thoughts and opinions. Like I used to do this years ago, and I feel like it's time to kind of bring it back now. So I'm definitely inspired to do this a lot more now. So I'm gonna have on my next caller. There's can only be one person I can bring on right now. You guys bear with me. In the meantime, that's Master Sergeant. Yeah, that's where we will do good. But he's also stubborn like Poch. But I think he would listen. Yep. Mourinho is pure nostalgia. issue is experience, the composure and confidence that comes with. I kind of agree with that. Not gonna lie, I think, like I'm saying, I think maybe next time we just have like an independent chat around Mourinho, because I think there's a lot to say, to be fair with you. But anyway, got my next caller on. Bear with me 1 second, bro. Yes, Dennis, how you doing, man?
Bless, man.
Bro, I know you got a lot to say after this defeat.
Bro, man, listen, I don't even know where to start, man.
Let's take on the beginning.
Bro, like, you know what, yeah? When Vivell quit, alarm bells was ringing. But I just thought to myself, you know what, yeah? I was going off the hype that these Americans, yeah, apparently doing research, people have been saying that they've been successful in whatever they've been doing, innit?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I was going off of. Like, okay, cool. They've done a madness and clearing everybody out. And I'm like, okay, I don't agree with it, but if you want to do things your way, cool. Let's see what the plan is. Now, I have my suspicions when, don't get me wrong, I was getting gas when we were getting all these players, because I'm thinking, cool, we got like some sporting directors and whatnot picking these players, right?
Yeah.
Picking these players with technical ability. And I'm like, okay, we ain't getting no experience. And all these lot are young. And this is the Prem.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a while for these lot to gel. Now, I knew there would be like a period where it would take a while for people to kind of like gel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it would take this long. Granted, obviously, we've had injuries and that. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an excuse. Yeah? I look at the profiles like, it's jarring me. We spent $1 billion, right? But obviously the $1 billion is not for like players who are like in the first team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these youngsters that we're sending out. To me, it looks like the plan is basically you get these guys, send them out on loan, whatever. Anyone that does well, we can flip them for a profit. If they do really well, we can even get more money. But if they do like excellent, then we can try and bring them into the first team. So that's how I'm looking at it, yeah. But I'm thinking, hang on a minute. I look at the team that, okay, we spent all this money, and I'm looking like, who is any opposition scared of? I can't believe that we spend that much money and we haven't addressed the first team properly. Like, okay, we take a striker like Nicholas Jackson. I don't want to really jump on him because it's not really his fault, yeah. But I'm thinking, okay, scouting department, we've lost Lukaku for obvious reasons, yeah. We've always had issues with strikers. Okay, we're bringing Jackson right now, right? This is a guy that was a winger that's converted now to a striker. He can't hit the ball. Yeah. He can't really shoot. He's got good hold-up play, and he can dribble. That's what we're going off of. And that's who's been leading the line throughout the whole season. Broja obviously been injured. Yeah. So you can't really rely on him as well. Obviously, Broja, I feel like he's good in the air. He's kind of like got a better striker instinct than Nick Jackson. But Jackson's kind of got more about him where he can get in, he can get around.
Yeah.
Personally better than Broja. So it's like you kind of want a mixture of both.
If you could fuse them, then you have like the striker for right now, right? Yeah.
It's like if you play one, you're missing stuff from the other. You play the other, you're missing stuff from the other, and it's just jarring me, bro. It's jarring, like.
But like, is that like something we have to accept? Like, we have to accept the growing pains that comes with investing in so many guys under 23.
No, we don't have to accept it. That's the problem. Like, you've put us in this mess. At first, I was like, you know what, cool, we can accept it. And I'm thinking to myself, hang on a minute, nah, I can't even accept it because why do we have to lower our standards?
I mean, listen, in the summer, the only serious striker we could have signed would have been Harry Kane. But that wasn't going to happen. He was going to Bayern. There's no way Spurs are selling him to us. There's no way Kane is going to come to us either. And then outside of that, Vlahovic, and I think Vlahovic is having the same old seasons he tends to have with Juventus. And I guess the risk would have been if he came here and his wages are like quadruple what Jackson's are, and if the output's not really matching the salary, like could that have been like a sticky situation for us? Because who were the big strikers on the market that we were looking towards, or who were available, or who could even sign?
But you see, and this is my issue, right?
Okay.
It's not that we have to get a big name. That's what people are getting confused, right? We've invested in the scouting department. You're trying to tell me there's nobody that you can actually go out and scout and be like, you know what, this is the type of profile we need, yeah? Like, we're a team where we come up against a lot of low blocks, right? So the profile of striker, we need to try and figure out that type of person who we can get.
Yeah.
We actually need a variety. You know what I'm saying? We need a striker that can run in behind, and we need a hold-up striker that can bring others into play and also be able to be good in the air aerially and be able to take a shot. Why do we have strikers that nobody can take a shot?
For sure, but could you argue this? Obviously, like we've seen a bit of that potential from Jackson this season, and let's say his partner in crime was a consistent Nkunku or a Carnes, and not having Enzo Fernandez playing 10, trying to support him, or having like Gallagher at times, rarely having Cole Palmer alongside him. Like, are these strikers also missing out on not having that type of partner that could help them?
That's actually the problem. Like, we're missing Nkunku is a big piece, but the problem is, why does it have to be without him, the whole thing falls apart? That's a problem.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like that. The whole thing cannot fall apart based on a phantom player we haven't seen play in the Prem. We're just going off of the idea of Nkunku. Don't get me wrong, he's a good player, and I think he'll be excellent for us, but we're basing it on what we don't know of yet. You know what I'm saying? So the strikers that we should be getting should be able to play with or without someone like Nkunku.
Yeah. I think, honestly, realistically, the only guy on the market that could do that is going to be Osimhen. And then that's just a different conversation about whether we can buy him, afford him, whether he still wants to come. That's a whole different kettle of fish. But I do think Nkunku, I feel like the only unfortunate thing that's going to land his way is that there's going to be so much expectation from the fan base because we've been waiting so long for him to play that I feel like we're going to be a bit impatient. And I think he might be a bit rusty in his first game or two because obviously he hasn't played in like how many months, and he's coming. He's going to start playing again during like the midway point of the season, during the most intense part of the season in December. It's going to be quite difficult, but you're praying at least, right? Sheffield United, we're going to see some signs of Nkunku at least coming off the bench, at least building up some fitness now. And because it does feel like, is there an argument that maybe Nkunku was like Pochettino's like key missing piece throughout the season?
I think he was banking on him.
Yeah.
I think he definitely was key because we saw in preseason. Obviously, like preseason is different from like the Premier, like real Premier League or whatever. But we saw the fundamentals of how the team was supposed to play, and that has been abandoned, obviously due to injury. My issue is like now is, okay, everyone's waiting on Nkunku. He comes back. Okay, he comes back. We don't know how long he's gonna play for.
Yeah,
he might every time he gets tackled. Everybody's going to be having a heart attack.
Bro, don't get me nervous now, man.
Like, we're being real. Like, look at all the players that come back from those type of injuries. Look at Reece. You know what I'm saying? Every time Reece goes down, our heart's in our mouths. You know what I'm saying? And people with long-term injuries coming back like that. We had that with, like, one of my favorite players, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Like, every time he kind of went down, it's like, oh, gosh, like, I hope he doesn't get injured. But these people keep getting injured over and over. So the plan is now we really need to do something in January so we don't have to rely only on Nkunku.
Yeah, I think so. I think we need to relieve the pressure a bit. But I need to ask you these questions now then. Obviously, January's coming up soon.
Yeah.
What players are on your minds? Like, who's exciting you? Or if there's no players, what positions even do you think have to get targets?
That's a difficult question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, let me just put it out there right now. Goes to the listeners to do it. Like, I'm just a fan like you, like I'm not saying I know everything. You know what I'm saying? I've been in football a long time, you get me? But everybody has their kind of like preference of what type of player they would like to see play for Chelsea, innit?
Yeah.
That's just what it is, isn't it? My thing right now is that when I look at every team and I look at our team, I notice one thing. In our midfield, we have no goal scorers. None. No threat. So our threats are coming from either the wing or Reece James. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Sterling's not scoring, Palmer's not scoring, like even I don't think Reece has even scored this season, but like that's literally the threat. Like Enzo, a goal scorer. Gallagher, who I thought would be the goal scorer, I don't think he's even scored a goal this season.
Nah, it's got more assists. Who would have thought he'd have more assists than goals?
And then you got Caicedo, who's never been a goal scorer. So our spine in our middle, there's no goals. We used to have like Ballack, Lampard, Essien. Everybody was chipping in with goals. We were having goals from everywhere. Like right backs were scoring goals. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we had goals from everywhere. So my thing is that we need someone in the middle to cause a threat. We definitely need a striker. Definitely. And also we need to address this left back situation.
I think so, yeah. I think so. But like, when is Ben going to be back? I do feel like he's kind of missed a little bit. Not going to lie. I know some people have some reservations around Ben, but I think he brings like a decent balance for what this team needs right now.
He does. That's the thing. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm Chilwell's biggest fan. Like again, like with the with what we're talking about earlier in terms of like fusing players together, like Jackson and Broha. I think Chilwell and Cucurella is like, if you could kind of fuse both of them together, you kind of get like a decent left back. Because Ben is much better attacking than Cucurella. He's better in the air. So yeah, Ben is a goal threat, right? But he can't play under pressure. That's the thing. You know what I mean? But at this point, we're just gonna have to go gung ho. If Ben can come back, yeah, he definitely needs to come back and take that spot and just, you know. But we still need to address that position going forward because he's always injured himself.
Yeah.
That's another person.
That's it. You know, injuries to key players and key positions. I've reset again too. It does feel like surgery time for him. I think obviously if he wants to even make it for the Euros, but again, the surgeries means he'll be out for a while then if he gets surgery. So it's a sticky one. But I'm just hoping Gusto's back soon to help.
He needs to forget any hope of those Euros right now. Like, because if we can't rely on you at Chelsea, England can't rely on you in a tournament. That's facts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
you're not lying.
For real. You know what I'm saying? So even though like I'm not a big international fan, that's not like Chelsea's like that's watching it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cool.
I feel you, bro. But anyway, Ben, do you have any final comments and words? Any final points you want to make before I bring on the next caller?
I was gonna say to you earlier, a few months ago, I mean, actually, during the start of the season, we did hear Poch say, you know what, like, we need some experience, innit? We need some experience in the team. He didn't get that. So obviously, we're seeing what's happening now.
Yeah.
He's now said that he wants to address this in the January transfer window. Kind of like the same question you put to me, like, who would you say can come in that has Prem experience that can come and help this team right now? I know everyone keeps saying, "Oh, striker Ivan Toney." I think, let's forget Ivan Toney for now. I'd like to see who you think can come in, because I think he said he needs 3 experienced players to come to the first team.
Honestly, I think it's hard. Like, obviously, January means you're paying a premium for anything, and I just feel like Osimhen, if that's a possibility there, go for it. And I'm sure the club are the holding discussions right now to try and find out what the price is going to take. if that means someone gets sold to try and fund the move, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. But I also think it's ambitious, and I feel like there's a higher chance that we don't sign like a top tier striker in January compared to the summer. And I wouldn't want to do anything hasty in January that stops us making a big money move for a striker. Obviously, I was doing the videos during the summer, like Matt Law reports, on-scene reports, hearing names like Mane, Lautaro Martinez, who's having an amazing season with Inter Milan. Experienced figures like that were the type of guys that Poch was hoping we could get. Obviously, he was the one that put forward Ugarte at the start of the season, right? And you're getting vibes as a fan that, okay, is it like a balance between like the manager's input and the director's input? But I think we learned during last summer that it was more input from the sporting directors compared to what Poch had. So I'm very curious to see what type of players Poch is going to put forward. But obviously, talks of like maybe a more scoring midfield player is interesting. Obviously, what could that mean for guys like Gallagher, for example? Are we going to see some shock like sales? Of course, you could sell some of these guys for a premium right now, to be honest with you. But I'm looking at the market possibilities, and I just feel like, would you bank on like a Solanke? But then you're thinking to yourself, there's no way Bournemouth are going to sell their key guy during the season. You're going to pay something stupid like 80 million, and Solanke is not worth that money. Are you looking at Guirassy from Stuttgart? But at the same time, a lot of strikers just have incredible spells of form with their teams, and it doesn't always translate to the next club they sign for in January, right? So you're looking at Ivan Toney as the option, but then he hasn't played football for a while, and I feel like he would need a run of games to get back to the full speed of things, a new club environment, new way of playing. That all comes with time. So I think it's not going to be... I feel like if we see any reinforcement, maybe it might be for like positions that can provide more goal threat, potentially. Could that be what we see? Could Poch even feel like if we had another attacking player, maybe Nkunku might play some games up front, which, he's shown he can do at times, you know what I mean? And you know that if Nkunku has an aerial ball, you're a lot more confident that he's going to score from that compared to Nico and Broja and stuff. So, I don't have all the answers. I think I'm just looking forward to seeing what the reports are going to say in terms of the players we're linked with. But I just feel like we have to be smart with what we do in January. Like, we can't force ourselves in situations that affects what happens in the summer. And I think that, if it gets to a point where January comes, we just ain't going to get CL football. Because let's keep it real. By the time some of these guys come, it could be the end of the window. And then it's just like you've wasted even more games you could have had to have these guys playing and boost your hopes of getting CL football. So I just hope that we've learned some lessons from last Jan and we do things a bit smarter this season. But anyway, my guy, any final thoughts?
You know what? I was even thinking for a striker, why didn't we, if we're gonna go for like young strikers, why didn't we go for like Benjamin Sesko?
Yeah,
that's someone I actually think that he would have.
He's interesting, but he's not even playing week in, week out at Leipzig. Obviously, they got Openda, who's I think got the most goals for them so far. So again, I think Sechka would have been sick, but I think we'd be having the same conversations about his game not being perfect, and you know what I mean. So
it's not even about the perfect player. It's just the fundamentals of things. Like for example, like right now we have a striker where we can't put anything in the air because he's not gonna score with his head. Like Sesko is a striker and he's both-footed. He can shoot with both. I'm not saying he's perfect, but the fundamentals up front you have to have. You have to be good in the air, and you have to. If you can shoot with both feet, that's a bonus. Hold up, play, link up, and you're quick. Which he's got the tools. You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody I think we should have looked at, but obviously we didn't. But you know what? Anyway, that's my final thoughts anyway.
Okay, I appreciate that, bro. Obviously, banking the good people fan you. I'm gonna everyone like who's involved today in the Skype chat. Leave your social details, and I'll put them in the description in this video afterwards. But where can they find you, bro?
On Twitter for the Havoc, man. D-Lord the Don.
Okay.
THABON.
Man. Yeah, it's been a while since we've spoken, so it's nice that you came on tonight, man, and have a little catch up in it. Yeah, appreciate that, bro. But anyway, we'll talk again soon, and thanks, man.
I love, bro.
In a bit, bro. Okay, right now, my guys, I'm gonna answer a few questions. I've got a few more super chats. Appreciate that. Mo Flygerian. Now, Raz, yes, Raz. Thank you for having me on, bro. Keep killing it. Appreciate your input today, my guy. Thank you, man. Mo Flygerian. Openda was available in the summer. I wanted him. I mean, he did have an amazing season with Lawns last year. I know he's having a very good season for Leipzig. I think it's at the point where maybe Werner might be moving already. So he was an interesting guy, but he's another guy that relies upon servicing behind. And I just feel like if you're going to go for these transitions forwards, you play that 10. And I feel like if you've got Cole Palmer, you have to use him as a 10 for now until the other guys can come back, in my opinion. But moving on to Rijo Park. Yes, Rijo, first stage of grief is the now. After 21 years of trophies, we must accept reality that a downturn was coming. It's painful, frustrating, bewildering, but we may need this decline before rising again. And I think, I feel like this is the coffee we're waking up to be fair with you. This is the reality. Clubs like Villa and Co., they had momentum from last season that they built upon, that they improved upon, and this is why they're climbing up the table. We didn't have anything like that last season. We didn't have one set style of play. We've basically gone back to zero again, but we've basically gone back to the restart. So, do we accept that this season's a write-off? But if we do, then I think as a fan base, we have to see some positive signs with the football at least. We have to see some consistency. We have to see real conviction when it comes to making us play the right way. And games like this where Pochettino talk about having the possession and all that bullshit. I'm sorry, Everton, these clubs don't care about the ball. They know that you'll get moments against us. Just keep your shape. So that's not really impressive in my opinion. So listen, if we're gonna back Poch in January, we have to make sure we're seeing levels from him, to be fair with you. But I appreciate that, man. Mo Flygerian again. Giroud, Mahrez, Mane would have been better than what we have right now. They would have definitely helped, especially a Mahrez or Mane. I think they would have been interesting options. Who knows if we can bring in any loan players? I think the Saudi league ends soon. I mean, I can't remember, to be fair. But listen, as a fan base, we weren't thinking about the experience. All we were thinking about was, this super talent, that super talent. But I think we've all kind of been humbled, all of us, right? You need that balance in your squad if you want to be winners. And Raz, I think your questions here. Thanks for having me on. This is my Twitter. Cool, appreciate that, man. So right now I'm going to have on the next caller. I think obviously it's my first time doing this, so I think when I do this again, I'm going to make sure that people have a time limit so I can go through a wide variety of callers. Sorry if you've been waiting for a long time. Big apologies. It's my first time trying to figure out how to do this, but I think right now I'm going to have on Patrick McCourt. So Patrick, I'm calling you now, and whenever you're ready, man, come through. But okay, going through questions. ABC, we need a fullback. I think a left back is the position people want to see reinforcement in. Minerals, Epstein Island FC. I don't want to know what that answers in regards to. Sofian, is it worth buying a striker in January, Nini? In my opinion, I don't know who we could get, to be fair with you. I don't. Hopefully a super option is available, but I think it's a bit risky. But anyway, right now we have on the next caller in Patrick McCourt. How are you doing tonight, Patrick?
What are you saying, Nini? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just, I feel like now that I'm speaking to people, my mood's kind of lifting a bit. Obviously, it gets a bit depressing having to cover this club after L, but...
Bro, differently, I can't lie. I was sat there watching the Everton game on my dodgy stream, and I just fucking almost shut my laptop across the room. I was like, bro, what am I doing with my life supporting this club anymore,
I know. Like with defeats like this, it does make you think about your life choices, right? Right, I actually dedicate my whole life to following a football club. It makes me realise that, and I don't like thinking about it like that, to be fair to you.
Bro, it's so deep, I can't lie. It's just bro, son of Chelsea put it well. He was like, look, I'm glad it was on Sunday, so it didn't ruin my weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, he always puts things well, to be fair.
Yeah, good lad. But anyway, what I'm saying is we need some fucking experience in this team. Okay. Because how are we expecting these young players to learn all these things? They've got no one to fucking teach them. Sorry, it's not the language, but...
That's cool. That's cool. I mean, obviously don't spare too much, but obviously, you've got to say what you have to say.
But how are they meant to learn if they've got no one to learn from?
Yeah, I think that's facts. I mean, looking back now, maybe we could have, and I'm saying this. I'm holding my hands up. Could have Mateo Actually, Kovacic, when things went down, he wasn't really one of those guys that would inspire much upturn, to be fair. I mean, Kante, I kind of feel like letting Kante leave on a free, was that necessarily the play? I feel like, we had those negotiations with Kante, and we're the ones that ended them, and then he obviously left on a free to go to Al Hilal. I just feel like he's the type of guy that, he could be inspiring guys on the field at least. A guy that I think might be controversial, but I think Loftus-Cheek, I just think that this guy should have been in the squad. I was saying that when we let him go to AC Milan. He's got the strength. And I think playing in this, like, Pochettino midfield, I feel like we missed out on that guy that can carry us up the fields on the transition, right? And I've seen what Ruben did against Paris Saint-Germain. I know that he's having a very good season for AC Milan. I just feel like we could have kept one or two of these guys before, like, slowly phasing them out.
Exactly. Also, a guy who knows the club inside and out. That's what we needed. Because, look, the whole club has changed inside from out. Like, look, the whole backroom staff, the Marina Granovskaya, the whole ownership's changed. We need some players in there who know the club since age 8. Mm-hmm. Just be like, this is what Chelsea's about. Look, the results aren't what we need. These aren't, like, it's like culture. Like, for example, when was that game when we were like, I remember you went on, you were pissed about it. You were like, we won this game like 1-0 against this like dodgy team, and they were so gassed about it. It was like going a couple of weeks back. Mm-hmm. Tottenham, it was a Tottenham one, obviously.
Yeah.
The players were gassed. Under Mourinho, under anyone like that, Ruben Loftus-Cheek would be back in the dressing room being like, lads, this was not acceptable. We struggled with that result. It's that culture that we've missed. And I think that's the oversight from the board. And look at it, like the amount of international players and like we used to have compared to now. Like the whole squad used to be gutted over the international break. Everyone would go off. But now they're all still at Cobham in this like dodgy environment, not learning anything. And that's where we've gone wrong, honestly.
I think I kind of, I kind of tend to agree with you for sure. I just think that, I think we see it on the field when things are going against us. Who's there to galvanize? Who's there to like, spark the energy back again, to inspire a bit of confidence? Like, be that composure the team needs. I feel like there's a reason why we see Silva like every single week, because Poch does know that experience is helpful. And listen, even though Silva's had his moments, I think mistakes are going to get exasperated for everyone when the team's not fully in sync properly, right? But then where would we be without his interceptions or his readings or his like last-ditch tackles? So he has been beneficial for us in those aspects. And it's just like, okay, who's our Silva in midfield? Who's our Silva up front? Who's our Silva in attack? Like we need some of them.
I think Sterling was signed to be that guy, and so is Nkunku. I think Sterling this season, give him credit, he's fine in form, and I think you can see boys around him looking at him being like, I mean, look at Cole Palmer. I think there's no coincidence those two coming from Man City together. Mm-hmm. The reason why Cole's playing well, especially if you really see when he plays with Sterling, I feel like they've got that unwritten understanding. Yeah. I think it's the midfield and the striker role. I think someone to bring through Brozier and Jackson, because I think look in pre-season, there is a good player in Jackson. There really, really is. And Brozier, look at what he did at Southampton. We just need I think we need someone just to teach them, almost Lukaku style, keep the guy behind you. I'm gonna be a dog in this penalty box. Like remember what Lukaku did first game against Arsenal?
Yeah.
I can't remember who that defender was. Dashed him out the way, back in the net. Mate.
We all knew straight away he was destined to score against Arsenal in his debut. Like everyone knew that was a certain. So, it's a shame. Listen, my controversial take I said like a few years back was, did we make a mistake not telling Lukaku to come back for this season? Because he could have made the difference, at least securing Champions League football. And I think he's one of those guys where if you put your arm around him and say, listen, you're my guy, I don't care about what happened in the past. Listen, you're not leaving, you're staying here. There's only so much he can do, right? So
yeah, the thing is though, us as fans, we have a tendency to overreact. Or I feel like we're in the kind of the die-hard community.
Yeah.
And I think the average Chelsea fan doesn't really care too much about Lukaku doing these stupid interviews. And I think we overreacted. But then as soon as you take that stance as a club and a fan base, you can't go back on it.
Yeah.
And it's just I think the problem is also there's not really many top-tier experienced strikers out there that I look at and I'm like, yeah, you'd improve our team. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised we didn't go in for someone like Isak when he came available. Yeah. He is a type of guy I'm looking at. How much Newcastle getting for? 50 mil? 60?
Yeah, the release clause from Sociedad, right? I think like 52 or something like that.
Exactly, mate. Why are we not looking at players like that who we see have got feet, tall, good in the box, mate?
Yeah.
But at the moment, there's no. I don't want to splash this money on Osimhen because he's going to have unrealistic expectations, and we're going to drag him down. He's not going to perform. We're going to sell him somewhere else, and then he'll perform out there.
I mean, it feels like a little bit cynical, but at the same time a bit realistic, because there'll be so much expectation if he did sign for us that one big miss that comes, which will come, because he does miss those opportunities for Napoli as well. You know, is that going to help his confidence? Like, a part of me also feels too, like, when we signed all these players in January and forced all these guys to come right now, I feel like I'll be developing this culture of losing, where all these guys have known since signing for us is loss after loss, like more losses and draws than wins. And it's just like, how do you get that confidence to really rise up again? Like, you can have that confidence when you have a history of winning behind you, to know that this is not our level, we can rise up. And like, when you have all these young guys who are still trying to figure their games out and, you know, figure out their potential and still improve, without those heads around them to like ease them through, to like take the pressure away, you know, what are we really doing?
Exactly. I mean, I'd love to see some like old legends come back, like your Terrys, your Lampards. Just be like, look, lads, this is what made us win. This is the culture. Just come in and help Pochettino. Like, I know Lampard didn't do the best in his time, but look, how well did he do in that like 1920 season? That was honestly, like, I know we won the Champo since then, but that was the last time I properly enjoyed Chelsea.
Yeah, same.
Just, you know, like young players like who are our own, like actually going out, because those were the lads who knew what it was to play for the club. Yeah. Right now, none of them know what it means to play for the club, and that's not their fault. Like, I'm not blaming them. They just haven't grown up in this system.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I feel like maybe people don't always understand that, but I've always seen it like, yeah, the grads that came through, I mean, you know, they were growing up in Cobham, being around your Drogba's and your Lampards and all these guys from kids, and then as they're teenagers, they're with your Hazards and Williams. You know, that's the Chelsea like DNA you're passing, you know, through to the youth, right? And these guys understand it. That's what they've been doing since they were young. You know, winning titles domestically, winning youth European titles, and they're playing against some of the best European teams getting these titles as well. So, you know, we definitely did have, in my opinion, I'm always going to kind of feel like we could have explored our produce a bit more, especially when we see that a lot of these guys do prosper when they do leave and they do, you know, maximize their careers. You know, did we take our products, our produce seriously enough? I'm not too sure.
No, I mean, also coming from London, we've got the pick of the crop, mate, the best crop in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, look at City. They're producing all these great talents from Manchester. I know they've got the whole north, but we've got London. Like, football is the culture in London, mate. Mm-hmm. Everyone's out playing football the whole time, and we can't produce any of these guys for our own use. Like, look at Tomori doing amazing. Look at Guy doing amazing. Livramento, man. Like,
yeah.
You especially, you were the guy. You were the guy who was like, this is our academy baller, player of the year, and you were fuming. I was fuming because you talked about it. Just the way, the passion. And just look at him at Newcastle. We knew it. We all knew it. And now the world's knowing it. It's just so annoying.
It is, man. Like, he's been doing it since day one. I was like, listen, we've got our own Hakimi here. Like, trust what we have.
It was the Hakimi window, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when we're looking, oh, man.
The pain, bro, the pain. Especially like when I heard too, you know, because I heard, the reason I've always had my stance to is that I heard what really went down. And I know that his like father and parents are really upset, and they really pushed him to move on and start taking his career serious, because the club weren't offering him anything. So, you know, it's easy to, you know, criticize these players, but I mean, you know, the club shows that they don't really care about what they're producing, to be fair with you. And I just think to myself, bro, we could have had a left back sorted right now, a right back sorted right now. I mean, we would have been sorted for a few years, to be fair with you. But
and save so much money.
Yeah.
But also, what I was gonna say is, the guy I'm really excited for, Cassidy.
Okay.
This guy, I think he's our secret weapon. People don't know. People really don't know, because he's not doing those numbers in Leicester, but he's playing well.
Okay, what is that particular parts of his game that excite you? I'm sure a lot of us saw him during pre-season, but like for yourself, like what are you noticing? that people
That
are.
it was that box to box threat, man. That tall, lanky guy. Who was the guy who was on here earlier? Was it Dennis saying we need a guy to score from
Yeah,
midfield?
yeah. I think it
Bro,
was Dennis.
this guy, man, you don't understand what Cassidy will do if we develop him right. Bro.
I mean, he's got a lot of goals with his head during the under 21 World Cup or under 20 World Cup or something. Like he's got those classic qualities that you see in his game. Like he knows how to crash the books. Like he's physical. Like once this guy really like bulks up and develops properly, like when he's like 23, 24, he could be an absolute unit in midfield, to be fair with you. So, you know, let's see what happens. But that's what it comes down to, right? Development. Are we gonna get the best out of his development? You know, after his loan with Leicester City, what is the plan? Is it just to stay there again or what?
It's got to be another loan. I think I wouldn't be opposed to sending him back to Leicester because, look, the way I look at him is, right, I mean, we always get to the bar line and then we, like, especially Mudryk, he does these low crosses. We saw it loads of times today.
Yeah.
And there's no one crashing the box. If you have someone crashing the box with our striker, all of a sudden that's creating more opportunities for our striker by taking the pressure off of him and creating, like, another run.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're scoring more goals.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very like astute point you're making, and it reminds me that I think Andre Santos has shown that he's got that goal scoring, box crashing skill set as well too. And you know what I mean, like sometimes when we think about these players, we always think about, you know, ball to feet, ball on the ground, nice little like pass and moves and bits of play and stuff like that. But like in a real game of football, like you're not going to win games exclusively playing on the ground, right? You need, like, sometimes you just need your player to outcompete his man. And if the ball's coming in the box, 6-yard box, are you good enough to get on the end of that and put it in the back of the net? You know what I mean? Especially in the Premier League. So I hear you. I hear what you're saying about Cassidy. Let's see how his season goes on. And yeah, Patrick, man, thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts and opinions, man. I'm sorry to keep you waiting for so long, and you've been very patient.
I'll wait a while, mate. I've been watching you, bro. Also, you've developed so much as a content creator. I'll be honest, I used to hate your content. I was like, I'm gonna keep going, keep watching it, and bro, you improved so much, and now you're my favorite YouTuber. I'm sat here like at night, not so depressed because I've got someone else to relate to about the Chelsea.
I appreciate the honesty. I appreciate the honesty, man. But yeah, come on, I agree. Like I wasn't happy with what I was doing too. I had to improve, and I can always still improve as well too. But yeah, Patrick, man, thanks for coming on, man. And yeah, I guess we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, bro. Love. Have a nice day.
Yeah, love too, man. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, I'm going to have on a few more callers, maybe like 2 more, only because it's getting a bit late and I'm getting a little bit hungry, not going to lie. Like I said, it's my first time doing something like this. I know the format's not as in sync as it could be. Next time I'm going to make the callers have like maybe 5 minutes max so we can like get through as many people as possible. So if anyone's, you know, if I don't get through you on Skype tonight, big apologies. I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, I'm going to have on another caller here. Mary Johnson, I'm calling you right now, so whenever you're ready. What you guys saying in the chat? Castle Dine, not the goal scoring midfield player. Obviously, a long way to go though. I think so. Harj, Nini, if you want experience, let's sign Alonso, Varna, and Jorginho. He's waffling. 17-18 Nini was generational. I know that game against Tottenham when we beat them, I know I was like the only one that wasn't impressed. So I was just like, my God, you're telling me that we have to defend for our lives to beat Spurs when we've got better players than them? Nah, I wasn't here for that, man. I really wasn't. But moving on, Simti. Ziyech didn't have the technique our homegrown players had, for sure. And I've got another super chat here from Miguel. Miguel, showing too much love on Christmas, man. I appreciate that, Nini. Another thing I wanted to say to you, I think reasons why we had to expedite our squad rebuilding is due to the transfer ban from Roman scandal. Ban and rebuild would have been thrice as long. And you know, of course, this rumor has been surfacing for a while now that is this one of the reasons why we're being really aggressive, like really safeguarding our future over multiple seasons in case we do get like a 1-2 year transfer ban. And I think it might make you see the signings of like this Esteval Willian kids, Kendrick Pires, and a lot of these guys in different lights, knowing that, okay, we've got a conveyor belt of talents here. But a lot of these guys will be out on loan, developing and growing, and they could be handy for us in the next year to two. So, it's definitely a lot to a lot to think about in those regards. And listen, we can, as fans, be cynical and be like, listen, our owners, they know nothing, what are they doing, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, these guys are billionaires. They've got experience working with sports franchises. I know LA Dodgers, they signed the Otani guy. He signed like a $700 million 10-year deal. I mean, it's like he's supposed to be like it's like the equivalent of signing Messi as a 22-year-old in baseball, from what I've read. I know nothing about baseball. So, obviously it's a lot of, big things happening. But right now, I've got my next caller on screen. Mary Johnson, how you doing tonight, man?
Hello,
can you hear me?
I'm
okay?
fine.
Perfect.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, my friends. What's your thoughts after the game today? What do you want to say?
First of all, I would like to say that quality is more important than the Chelsea DNA, that stuff about being a passionate merchant.
Yeah.
So someone like Gallagher, of course he understands Chelsea, but let's be honest, that guy is not Ronaldinho, man. There's so many weaknesses in his game. He cannot dribble past two players, cannot shoot from outside the box. You see what I'm trying to say?
I mean, you have your opinion, bro. You keep talking.
Yeah. So I had some names. When people say there are no good strikers out there to sign, I disagree, because it was not only Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
There were some other good strikers. Someone like Victor Osimhen, we did not go for him. Why spend 100 million on a defensive midfielder? Since when did a defensive midfielder become more important than a striker?
I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, I think Osimhen said that an offer was going to be accepted for like 150 million from a Saudi club, and him and his camp were, talking about the wages and the package. But then the old Napoli manager persuaded him to stay, and he remains. So he could have left for around that price. And, it's an argument you're making. Did we have to sign Caicedo for 150 million? I mean,
it doesn't make sense. When you go to France, there are a lot of good defensive midfielders like Kefren Thuram. He almost went to Liverpool, and that guy would have cost only 40 million. You see?
Yeah. I mean,
there are many good defensive midfielders in France. You can only get them for 20, 30 million, and he's a very good footballer. Someone like Essien was not expensive.
Yeah.
Someone like the other Obi Mikel was not an expensive player, but he stayed in Chelsea for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you spend 100 million, it should be for a striker or a winger like Kvaratskhelia, or Rafael Leao. Not for a DM.
I think that's a fair point you're making, especially when they're key positions that will lead towards you winning games more compared to a DM. So yes, and I understand. I know Caicedo's having the most consistent starts of his career with us so far. Hopefully he gets better. Let's see what he does. But for the money we paid, was a striker, like a top class striker, needed. I think that's a fair point. But what other things do you want to say about the game today, man?
I really don't want to talk about this game, because the problem with Chelsea is not one game. It's the whole structure. I want to talk about the directors at the club. I don't think none of them are good enough.
Yeah, you're not feeling inspired. Well, but what is it about them? You feel like the transfer strategy, they're a bit all over the place.
Even the transfer strategy is not necessarily wrong. Even if Todd Boehly and the board decided they want players who are younger, 22 and below, it's okay. But it's not Todd Boehly who is doing the recruitment.
Yeah.
Where is the scouting?
Yeah.
Because if you had a choice between Modric and Leao, Modric only had one good season in his former club. He was never brilliant in the previous years. When De Zerbi came to Shakhtar, that's when Modric started looking good, and it was like for half a season or something like that. He only had like 9 games. He has never even scored for Ukraine.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why we didn't get Leao was because I think we realized that he was going to sign the extension with Milan, and I think that's what forced us to then, make that move for Mudryk, because it's like, okay, who is the other left winger we sign? Do we let this guy go to Arsenal so they strengthen, or do we make a move to sign him? So,
But
I hear you.
I can remind you something. Leao was flirting with Chelsea. He wanted the move. Remember when he was talking about James is the hardest player he has ever played against?
Yeah.
Things like that. And he hadn't signed that deal. So if we put pressure on Milan, and Milan is owned by Americans, so they have a good relationship with Chelsea. We have sold Milan many players, right?
Yeah.
Pulisic and the rest. We have a good relationship with that team. So if you offer 120, you're going to get the guy.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it could be the case. But I think obviously Leao was kind of inclined to wanting to remain with Milan, and I think it was hard. I know he had, Milan had to pay his former club, Sporting Lisbon, money, right? Because he owed the club money. I spoke about it during the summer. I can't remember fully now. I know that we were open to paying off the compensation fee, but I'd honestly just think that Leao just wasn't a possibility. I think we would have had the money for him. I just think that he wasn't about. But then I get the sentiment you're making. If you're going to spend big money, they have to be guarantees. They have to be guys that can come to the club and offer something straight away, and not be, projects that might come to fruition in like 2 or 3 years' time.
Yes, the reason I'm using Leao as an example is because he had 3 years experience as a top winger. Mudryk only had 1 season, but they are on the same age group.
Yeah,
Leao is like 23, so they are almost the same age as Mudryk. So if it's the young players, these guys who are choosing the players, they chose the wrong player.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say. The age is not the issue.
Yeah,
they're just choosing the wrong players. If it's a striker, if we are looking at Ancelot, they wanted to hire that coach called Ancelot from Feyenoord. There's a striker in that team who is very good.
Santiago Jimenez. Yeah.
That guy is better than Jackson by far. You see his shooting technique, everything about him, movement. That's a world-class striker right there.
He's been consistent for 18 months now, and he's got that bit of the old school, like, reminds me a little bit of Falcao, like a little bit. I see that in him. So
he's a penalty box striker. He's just a poacher. He stays in the box and the ball is inside the net. And then he helped his team to win the league. Feyenoord won the league.
Yeah.
What did Jackson do in Spain? What's so special about Jackson?
Yeah.
He only had like 10 good games. He finished the season well, but the start of the beginning of the season in Villarreal, it was not that good. It was not scoring. And then Jackson was a winger when he was playing in Senegal.
Yeah.
So that's why when people say, let's give Jackson time, he will improve, I disagree, because there's 2 things you cannot teach in football. Football IQ, the intelligence, and you cannot teach instincts. That guy has no instincts of a striker. It's like putting a center back to play striker and then you become shocked that he cannot score goals.
Yeah.
Of course, these things, they are taught since you are a child. This man has not been a striker since he was a child.
I understand.
He's learning to be a striker at Chelsea. It doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think for myself, for Jackson, even though I know he's not the finished products, I want to wait to see what happens with Nkunku, because I think every time Jackson had someone playing close to him, I see a bit more from him. So I'm going to just wait a little bit to see how him and Nkunku play, because if they showed some promise in pre-season and there's something that could be explored there. So obviously let's look to see, but I definitely agree with the points you've been making today. I think you made some very good ones, man. But so do you have any final points you want to make?
I would just like you guys as YouTubers, I know you talk with other big Chelsea YouTubers, I would like you guys to push for us to get some experienced directors of football, like the one in Monaco. Somebody who has signed a big player in his life.
I understand.
I don't know what is his name. I keep forgetting his name.
Who's that? Monaco? Paul Mitchell or something?
Yeah, that guy is the one who he created that. You remember that Tottenham team that used to have Dembele, Victor Wanyama, Hurricane. That dangerous Tottenham
I think
team.
let me Google. I think it is Paul Mitchell, right?
Yeah, that's a good director. You can go from history and you can trace this guy has done something in his life. But you see someone like Paul Winstanley.
I think, listen, there's a lot of criticism falling his way. And like you said before, Todd Bowley's not signing the players. Obviously, he gave the keys to Mitchell, and then he got, not Mitchell, I mean, Winstanley and then Stewart. But we can't forget, before we hired those two, we looked at guys like Michael Edwards. Michael Edwards said no, he didn't want to leave a sabbatical. He wants to remain out of football for now. We looked at guys like Paul Mitchell. We looked at Christoph Freund, remember? The Freund guy who's now gone to Bayern Munich. So, you could argue that, Winstanley and Cole, they weren't even like the key main directors. They were like down the pecking order. And it's interesting that we signed him and Stewart, and then Vivell had three guys working together, and it hasn't worked because Vivell's left us. And, we don't have any concrete reasons as to why, but I think we could all take educated guesses that, he's not getting his say and he's not bringing the players he wants.
Yeah, my point is when he was at Brighton, Winstanley, he was the one in charge of recruiting players like
small fry ones, like I know he signed Caicedo, he got him, but I mean other
no,
guys.
it was not him. It was not him, bro. You see the current director of Newcastle.
Let me look. I need to remember these names. Newcastle.
The current director of Newcastle.
Okay, yeah.
That guy came to Brighton around.
Oh, Dan Ashworth. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came from the England team, eh? He's the one who created the new culture in England where people are praising Southgate for, but it was that guy who did it, who created a good environment with the media, positive energy.
Yeah.
Then he went to Brighton, and Brighton suddenly improved as a team because he was the one doing the recruitment. Yeah. Then he went to Newcastle. Newcastle improved because it is him who brought people like Guimares. I heard somebody saying, why didn't we sign that striker, the Newcastle striker who dribbles a lot? I keep forgetting his name. He's the one he bought those good players. But when Winstanley was there, they were buying strikers like Maupe. So it was not Winstanley doing the good job at Brighton.
Listen, to be fair, he brought in Matoma, he brought in Masuma, he brought in a few of them. But I think here's the thing, though. For me, when you're signing players like that to go to Brighton, for the business, listen, these guys, if they're successful, you'll sell them for like 60, 70, 80 million. And that's like winning the league for a club like Brighton. Because even though they've signed good players, they still won't be strong enough to win any silverware or win the Premier League. You know what I mean? And I think that when you come to a club like us, where the expectations are a lot higher now, because you're literally in the game to win. It gets a bit different then.
What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter if you are signing to sell or to keep. The quality has to be good. For example, we had Kudus over the window, but Winstanley did not choose to sign Kudus. Look at what Kudus is doing at West Ham. You see, those decisions are bad. You need to sign players like Kudus.
You're spitting. I was saying I wanted to see Kudus here all summer. I think I made a mistake, not going to lie.
The only good director I can think of is Paul Mitchell at Monaco. Even this guy we have at Chelsea, who came from Monaco, he was not the one doing the recruitment at Monaco. He was a data guy collecting the data. The real guy doing the recruitment is Paul Mitchell. So you see, both of the guys we have at Chelsea are not good enough, and that's why you see the recruitment is not good enough. That's why you can sign a player like Modic, who cannot even dribble a football. Sign Jackson. A striker is meant to score goals. This guy is not scoring. Let's be real.
Yeah, I think that's.
Which signing has succeeded? They have all failed, man.
Yeah, so far we're still waiting. I'm happy we got Enzo, but you're right. We're not seeing the signings translating towards more goals or more wins Sanchez right now.
Look how many goals Sanchez is conceding. Clearly, that is his signing. He came from Brighton. They brought the guy from Brighton. That one is his signing. He's struggling, right?
Yeah, no, I think you're spitting. You're spitting, to be honest, man. Obviously, the directors. I've had my thoughts and opinions on them as well too. And listen, I'm not disagreeing.
The only good director we have at Chelsea is the one who came from Manchester City.
Oh,
the
Joe
one who signed
Shields.
last year,
Yeah,
and Dujan Richards. By the way,
Shields. Yeah,
Dujan
yeah.
Richards is the best striker we have signed in Chelsea. I'm good at knowing people before they become stars. I assure you that one will be a good striker.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he has the instinct that Jackson is lacking. He's only 18, but you can see this guy is a striker.
Yeah. Okay, that's good, man. But honestly, man, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts and opinions. It's been nice hearing your views and your thoughts. So yeah, I appreciate that, man. Where can people find you?
On Twitter, Barros Noma.
Okay, you know what? Message me on Skype and I'll put it in the description afterwards. But honestly, man, thanks for coming on and yeah, talk again soon.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, man. Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Okay, my friends, you know what, yeah? I'm so sorry, but I think I might have to make this the last caller for tonight because, yeah, I'm getting a bit sleepy, not gonna lie. Listen, it will never be on this late again. This is like the experiment stream. I just wanted to make sure everything works so I can get things working, and hopefully as I do this more, we'll get like more fluids, it will get better. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna bring on the final caller, and yeah, apologies if I've missed out on some people, but definitely next time, make sure I'll let you guys know when I'm about to stream and you guys can come through for sure, man. But okay. Alex. Yes, Alex. As I'm waiting for Alex, I'm going to answer some questions in the chat right now. What are you guys telling me? What have I been missing out on? Virtual City. Palmer is where? Palmer is a good signing, not gonna lie. Yeah, I think he's been good. I think maybe there shouldn't be too much pressure on him, but he's one of those guys where like over the next 2 to 3 years he'll definitely level up. So yeah, he was a good signing. Winston Lee out. Listen, there's a lot of stuff simmering behind the scenes with Winston Lee, and naturally there's no surprise that people have him in their reservations now. But anyway, I've got the next caller about to come on, and then that might be the final one tonight. So bear with me, you guys. And yes, Alex, how you doing, bro?
What's up, man?
Yes, my guy. How are you feeling after today? What do you want to talk about? What's on your mind?
The match, it's whatever. That we lost again, usual. But
yeah.
At this point, I'm kind of numb to it. Like, it's more looking back, which, hindsight's great and all.
Yeah.
Looking back at, the summer window and the January window previous. And then looking and going, why did we, make these certain signings?
Mm-hmm.
Instead, like, we went very heavy on youth, which, all of us loved it. The Enzo Fernandez thing, the Caicedo thing. We all enjoyed it, like. But when you look back and you look at the fees we paid, and and then you look at the situation. Well, realistically, we're not going to get Champions League football.
Yeah, it's
if
not
we're
happening.
being realistic.
Yeah, I've accepted that.
So then you look at all the money you spend, and then the fact that we won't have Champions League football, it's going to make it harder for us to then attract better signings.
Mm-hmm.
Even this January, like. Does Osimhen really want to come to Chelsea if we're not going to get Champions League?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of hopes and prayers around, something that might not happen, to be fair with you. And I feel like there's a lot more realistic that Osimhen doesn't sign for us in January compared to him coming. And if they're like 15th or 17th by the time the window ends in January, would he want to sign for us right now if Napoli are doing something? I don't know. So... after Pochettino's call for signings in Jan, it's going to be interesting to see who we sign, because it does feel like Poch will be able to get the players that he wants. Who knows if that's going to be one or two of these guys. So, I still don't know what to expect, to be honest with you, man.
It's definitely going to be more experienced kind of players. Like, we're not going to... it'd be insane if we go for another 22-year-old, 21-year-old wonder kid.
I think there are too many of them right now. But I'm just thinking in terms of experience. I mean, Ivan Toney could be like, decide, okay, he's the only guy available right now. Let's make a move for him. He has the Prem experience. He's a platform striker he needs, and he's a great pen taker.
He's good. It's more if he wants to join us, because I'm pretty sure Arsenal are in for him, apparently.
That's it. If Arsenal are in for you compared to us, I mean, you're going to go to Arsenal every single day right now.
Yeah. So, and if it's not Tony, I mean, there's not much else out there that's available. Like Watkins, he's a great striker at Aston Villa, but Villa are never going to sell him.
No, absolutely not. It's just not going to happen. Like, they're in incredible form right now, and I feel like Villa, they would benefit from signing one or two guys in Jan that could really help push them up even more compared to us right now.
The one thing we lack in midfield, like, I know we lack goals, but we actually lack that kind of physicality in midfield. Like Caicedo and Enzo, they're tenacious. Same with Gallagher, they're tenacious, but they're not big physical, players. If you get me.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we'd had Matic, Makalele, powerful midfielders. Ballot, Lampard. I think one midfielder who we should be looking at is Paulinho, Fulham. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
6'3", he's a great defensive midfielder. I know Caicedo, we paid 100 mil for him. He's a DM.
But he has that potential to... Could Caicedo evolve to be more books to books? I mean, we've seen him do that for Ecuador. I guess maybe naturally, one of your best players in the national team would have a bit more offensive license. But, who's to say that, Caicedo was never just like this pure DM type of guy. He's always been someone that can do a bit more. So I hear your shout about Paulina. Obviously, I think he was the captain at Sporting Lisbon. He brings that leadership quality. I think he's quite smart on the ball too. I think that's a shout. But Fulham, they reject like nearly 70 million from Bayern Munich in the summer. So God knows how much they want for.
Wasn't it deadline? It was because the deadline.
Of course. They're less inclined to, but it's still big money they turned down.
Well, no, wasn't it? I think they accepted, but then the deadline it meant he couldn't join, wasn't it?
Honestly, I can't remember the full details. I'm gonna go on Google right now just to double check Paulina, Bayern Munich. But anyway, going back to your question though, you think that maybe like that physicality in midfields for experience and maybe something in attack?
I mean, if you look in like every, look at like Man City, Arsenal, all the big teams. If you look at their midfielders, they all have powerful defensive midfielders. Rice, Rodri, etc. Even Villa with Douglas Luiz. They all have a powerful DM. Like you nowadays, you can't really get away without having that.
Yeah, I agree. They give you the platform to build from the back and that power. I mean, I think the Douglas Luiz and Kamara. I know that Kamara when Villa signed him from Marseille. I know that Tuchel was a big fan, and I guess it's no surprise that Luiz. I think he's finally like, I think he's showing the benefits of letting a guy develop right. He's showing that he had that potential to be like one of the best mids in the country. I think when he played against us, I think he was superb. Him and Kamara were, I thought they just kind of edged it against our midfield in that game, to be fair with you. But, I look at these guys too and I'm thinking they weren't those guys, 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago. And it's like, should we just accept that we need to be more patient? I'm only being like playing devil's advocate, but should we be more patient in allowing our players to kind of like cultivate their talents, like accepting the fact that it is going to be hard. It's not like the ideal preparation or circumstances for these guys, but they can be better than your like Douglas Luiz's in like 2 years from now or 3 years from now.
But can we give them that time? Like, because we need champions. We need at least Europa League minimum at this point.
Yeah.
Can we give them that amount of time to develop and become those kind of players that they have the potential to be? Like,
that's a fair point.
At the beginning of the season, we were minimum wanting Champions League. So to now be like, maybe wait another year or two.
It's not inspiring. I mean, I guess the only thing that can help is if we can relieve pressure by having experience in different positions. Like, I'll always think this, if Nkunku never got injured at the start of the season, I just don't think I think we'd have got a few more points from the start, to be fair with you. I think he would have been a key difference maker just because he was like a real nice little balance between midfield and attack, and he's very clinical. I think he's our most clinical finisher, and I think if he does come back and he is fit, he's gonna add a lot in terms of converting these chances that we're not converting. It's from like, you know, free kicks or outside the box, inside the box. I think that's what makes him stand out. So, you know, hopefully he can be what we need, and if we can get a bit more experience in other positions, could that help out some of the frailties we're seeing with like the lack of experience right now?
You know, if we definitely add more experience, like I think especially in, like defensively, we've been poor this season compared to previous. Like we concede simple goals that just from our own errors. Like it's not even the team. Like the United game, perfect example. They weren't phenomenal.
Nah.
It's just we were horrific. And we have players in just the wrong positions all the time, or just the wrong profile of player.
Yeah.
Like Sanchez, you know, he's a good shot stopper. He's horrific at distributing the ball. One of the worst I've ever seen. Like,
yeah.
It's like when we had Mendy, you know, great shot stopper, but he's not great at distributing the ball.
Yeah. We still have not been fortunate to sign that striker. There was these interesting reports around Diogo Costa from Porto, and he's a very good distributor, but it seemed like we couldn't strike a deal in terms of like finding the installment package to sign him. I wonder if we go back in the market, and obviously Mike Magnan is there's still rumours around him. You know, is he going to get the big contract with Milan? Who knows? But you know, I feel that for some of these big guys too, they want that promise of Champions League football. They're going to think about their careers too. So this is where it gets a bit tight now. So I don't know, man. It's I don't even know where to go from here, to be fair with you. I'm just hoping that Nkunku, when he arrives, will give us a little bit of a boost at least.
It was just last summer. It was a bit naive to just be like, "Yep, we'll just sign these youth players and just hope they just, they just fulfill their potential this season immediately."
Yeah, I know. Like having a squad of like 30 plus players and they're expecting to do anything with them is not really going to work. I think we learned the hard way, and I definitely learned a lesson. I know I was really getting too excited last January, thinking, oh, you know, Joao Felix and Enzo and Mudryk, we're definitely set to climb up the table, and obviously, you know, we know what happened last season. But my friend, do you have any like final points you want to make?
Not really. One thing I saw this on Twitter a lot. The disrespect to Thiago Silva. I have him on my profile picture here. It's ridiculous. He's our best defender. He's nearly 40. He's our best defender, and people criticize him. It's madness.
Yeah, I get it. You know what it's like? People like you find those easy scapegoats. Like, listen, Silva's made a mistake here or there. I think everyone has who hasn't made mistakes, but I think a lot of the unseen defending. You know, I think without his involvement at times, you know, maybe things are looking a bit worse for us. But anyway, man, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your views, Alex. And yeah, hopefully we talk again next time, man.
You know, thanks for having me, man. I've been a fan for ages now.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, bro. Thanks, man.
Since Conte days, I think. Actually.
Oh, yeah? I hear that quite a lot, actually. A lot of people started following me after the Conte season. So, yeah, I'm glad I was able to keep you on board over these years, man. So, yeah, nice talking, man.
Nice.
Take care.
Take care, man.
Okay, so right now I'm going to do something a bit different. I said one more caller. I'm going to do 2 more callers. I'm going to wrap things up and call it a night. And there have been people waiting patiently. I do feel a bit bad. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm surprised by how many ads I got. I wasn't expecting this many, to be honest with you. So what do I do now? Who do I call now? I was getting who was messaging me? Sorry, my guys. Give me 1 sec. Okay. In the meantime, let me answer some questions in the chat right now and then get the last few callers on. Lesmere, if we only can see from Silva's mistakes, we would be at a good spot. I hear you. Minerals, if I'm spending $1 billion, I want to expect to be challenging with Man City. Mate, I feel you. Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna have flip it. I'm gonna have on 3 more callers, but I'm not gonna. It'll be like 5 minutes each. I'm gonna like keep the pace. Like I'm gonna keep it going. So Chris, you're gonna be next on, my friend. Yes, Chris.
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, I think. Can you say something?
Yes.
Okay, Puff. Maybe if you just like change your audio up a little bit. It's a little bit muffled at the moment.
It's a little bit muffled. Let me just try and put in both.
Yeah, all good, man.
At the moment.
All good.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't worry, man.
Let me know if that's.
Yeah, like there's like a little bit of like a background noise too. Like maybe if there's, you know.
Yeah, I have the fan on.
Oh, the fan on. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you were outside for a second. That's why. But anyway, yeah, I think that is a lot better. That's a lot better. So, Chris, what do you want to say, man? What's on your mind?
Well, I don't want to be too harsh on Madrid, but yeah, I think he can be a star boy. But with everything that he's doing at the moment, nothing is impressing me.
I think that's fair.
And yeah, all these deep crosses, everything, he doesn't do anything right. It doesn't seem like he has any composure or anything, or even the confidence to then cut in on his right foot. Like we've seen the videos of him in training, cutting into his right foot and putting that top bend. He doesn't do that in games.
We're still waiting for him to show what he can do with the shooting. And I'm not gonna lie, I get a bit frustrated seeing the the compilations of his shooting technique on Chelsea Twitter, and then you never see it translated in game.
Yeah, and even if he tries it, it's like, okay, then I like it because it shows the confidence.
Yeah,
but do it more than.
Okay,
that's the only problem.
So let me ask you, what do you think could be reasons as to why maybe we're seeing this like inconsistent Mudryk right now?
I don't think there's really leadership in the club. I don't think, because I think Gallagher is a better captain than Reece. That's probably a hot take. But I think Gallagher deserves to be the captain, and he controls the pitch.
Yeah.
When he is captain. And then we just need to sort out our defense. The Sassy is brilliant. The Sassy and Badashil need to partner up more. And yeah, I like Enzo. I'm not sure Enzo and Cancelo is the best. Yeah. And yeah. So
Okay. I feel you. Obviously, I would like to see more of like a classic left back. I like to see like a more of a classic back four. I think the Sassy's, showing his qualities. I think all our defense at times has shown our qualities. I think, I don't think we lose games because of our defense at all. So I don't really criticize them as much. I think maybe in midfield and up front is where most of our problems do come. And, I do want to see, I feel like this is where my manager needs to come through and kind of inspire the team a bit more. Like I was mentioning the point today, why is Cole Palmer not playing as that 10? Why are you forcing Enzo Fernandez to play there when that's not necessarily the best use of his game? We've seen him struggle playing this 10/8 role through many a time this season. If you're not going to play Gallagher there, why is Palmer not playing there? Why was Sterling not on the right-hand side to provide that width? At least Palmer's playing closer to the striker. And then maybe he's going to find Mudryk in better angles. A few times we were seeing that final 20 minutes, Mudryk was on the ball a bit more. A lot more than you tend to see him in most games, right? I think a lot of times he can be on the periphery and he is getting subbed off like in the 50th, 60th minute. So, I think there are a few tweaks. I know it's not an ideal circumstance for Pochettino, but I feel like there's a few tweaks he could be making to get a little bit more from the team.
Yeah, it was just a bit more runs from Mudryk.
Yeah.
That would have made it so much better. Because Broha, I was impressed with Broha's runs, and I was happy with that. But if Mudryk could complement that,
Yeah.
it would have been so much better for us today.
Yeah, I think Mudryk he had his moments. I thought he played a few nice little cutback crosses inside the box. Like, I like that he's able to cross with his left foot. It's not very often wingers can do both, right? And I just felt like if we had more numbers crashing the books, could we have taken advantage of some of them? I know what you mean. I think Mudryk, there's a lot more to come from him. He provided some threat today, but still, I still think there needs to be more that we see from him.
Yeah, I think he is a star player. We'll get it from him. We just all need to not bombard him with hate.
I think so. I mean, again, I'm just hoping that when Nkunku comes, he will be that guy that can, give that support to Mudryk on the left when he needs it, that can support Nico up front, that can link up with Cole Palmer, that can, bring a bit of the quality that we need. Like, whenever I see us play in the transition, I just think to myself, oh my God, if only Nkunku was here. I don't think we're that wasteful with the final ball or the decision making or the bad runs or anything like that, because this is literally what Nkunku's game's about. This is why he was signed. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that he can bring some upside to the rest of these guys and, they can inspire them.
And Lavia coming back as well.
Yeah.
Also opened the midfield up.
I think so. Just the fact
better chances created and stuff like that.
Exactly. And the fact that I think Enzo can be rested at times and Lavia can come on and play as well. I think now in December, I feel like the midfield injuries and suspensions and shit like that, I just think that Lavia coming back will be big. And like I like Lavia because he's a very smart midfield player. Like, he's like the brain of his team. Like, he's happy to receive under pressure. He can carry the ball up the fields. He can play across the distances. I think he will be a big help for us. But yeah, Chris, any final thoughts? Any final words?
No, I think that's everything that I can say.
Okay, perfect. Well, thanks for coming on.
Okay.
It was nice to hear from you, and yeah, hopefully talk again soon.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks. Take care, Chris. Take care. Bye. Okay, so my friends, I'm gonna have 2 more callers on. Was there another super chat there? Or yeah, probably not. Anyway, I'll have the next caller. Give me 1 second. You free, bro? Let me know. I know it's quite late, Sunday, it's like 1:15 a.m. I know people, they got work tomorrow, they got school tomorrow, they got whatever tomorrow. I think, yeah, it will never be this late again, I promise. But Abdi, I'd probably say for next time, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up in advance so you can have the time to prepare. But okay. Oh, cool. My next caller is gonna be Isma B, so I'm gonna wait for him to come through. Yes, Isma, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Hello. Oh, do you have any am I on in the background by any chance?
Can you see me?
No, I can't see you yet. We'll give some time though. No pressure. Just wait for it to connect. Yes, yeah, now I can see you. Perfect. I can see you, bro.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah, man. So after the game today, do you have any thoughts, or do you have any thoughts in general around the club, signings, the manager? What's on your minds?
Nini, we have a serious challenge. Yeah, I can hear you in the background as well.
Okay. But sorry, I'm a little bit confused, man.
All right.
Yeah. Is that delay? Oh, I didn't realize. I think there's a little bit of a delay between us right now. Can you hear me okay?
One of our biggest challenges I have to talk about is that we need to bring in experience, bro. Yeah. I don't know if in January we can. There's a delay.
Okay, I think that explains everything. So you know what? It might be hard to conversate with you, but I'll say for the next 5 minutes, say what you want to say, talk about the club, and speak your truth.
Okay. All right. So this is the thing, Nini. Best of what I watched today, against Everton, and we can even go back to United and Newcastle. Are we in sync now?
I don't think we're gonna be in sync. So like, if you want to talk, bro, like for the next 5 minutes, say what you want to say. I just think the delay is, it's too crazy right now.
All right. So I was saying earlier about this game we've just played with Everton, and when we even look at the United game, and let's go back to Newcastle as well. Nini, Chelsea's biggest problem, I don't think we're in too much of a crisis. I mean, a lot of people trying to make it look like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is the thing. We need experience. We have to bring in experience, and we're going to have to see how we can get rid of some of these kids, because these kids are not going to be able to make us win games in it. What do you think about it?
I think in terms of I think the kids are a long way away. I think a bit of experience around them is going to help. I think too much expectation around them, it's not going to happen. I think it's there's not enough balance in the squad right now.
For example, Poch talked about the January transfer. What do you think he can do, to kind of get our season going?
I mean, this is the $1 million question, because I've got no idea what he has in mind. I think maybe Poch might feel like a striker, maybe he might feel like another attacking player. I'm not too sure, to be fair, but he wants to have experience in the squads. And maybe the only common complaint I see from Pochettino is the lack of finishing. Yeah, I think maybe striker or winger. I think he's always complaining about no goals. That's the only thing I can think of.
What about for our midfield situation?
Midfield, I think we're kind of stacked. I think with Lavia coming back, I can accept that what we have in midfield is enough. I think any more additions isn't going to bring any more balance, unless it's like a superstar you're signing, but then you're not going to sign a superstar in January. So I think Lavia, let's wait for him to come back. There's a lot more to come from him. And I think when he comes, I think we could have a decent balance, at least in midfield. But I think maybe up front could be the one.
Bro, I'm telling you, this game broke my spirit, bro. I feel
you, man.
all right. Then also, I don't want to beat down the club by saying, oh, we need to change the board and stuff like that. Reason being, I don't believe right now, I hear guys saying Todd Bowley out and all of this stuff. I don't think that is even a reality. I remember the brother before that talked about changing the whole, administration, the scouting and all of that. And he's very right, but how do you even start to go about some of those issues,
Yeah, I think we're asking for too much. I think we have to accept some of the consequences, and I think we have to see, the management from across all the levels of the club right now, finding the best solutions to try and mitigate some of this poor form. But sorry, Isma, bro, I think I might have to bring on another caller. I think the delay is just a bit too strong. So maybe hopefully next time come on again.
Sorry, bro. Big fun.
I appreciate that, man. Really
shout
appreciate
out
that.
And enjoy your day.
Thank you, brother. And hopefully next time, come back again and we'll get this working properly, man. But yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Good night. Take care.
Good night.
Okay, now for the final caller of tonight, that's going to be Hamza. Okay, Hamza, what you telling me, bro? Yes, man. So Hamza's going to be the final caller tonight, and then we'll do this again next time. Take care. Okay, now for the final caller of tonight. Please, yes, Hamza.
Yes, bro.
How you doing, man? Yes, man, I'm good. Obviously, thank you for waiting so patiently. I know it's been a long wait, but yeah, next time I'll make sure it's on point. But my guy, man, what's on your minds? Do you want to talk about the game today? Is it just other pressing issues that's concerning you? Like, yeah, talk to me, man.
I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, big signings like Enzo, Caicedo, they've been a huge letdown, especially Enzo this season. I feel like he's been playing out of position now. Like, I think he's best like deep, controlling the tempo of the game, like playing through the back with Enzo. That's about it, literally, man. That's what I think. Yeah. And I think like Enzo is not like good striker of a ball, man. I think he thinks the ball got feelings or something, bro. Just like whack it, bro. Like just lace it, bro. I'm trying to
not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's always funny that the guys who can really pass a football, they struggle to like do the opposite side of the game, you know, striking the ball, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Enzo has it. I don't know why it's not really happening for him right now. I just feel like it's not really connecting properly with none of these. And anytime he is shooting, it's straight at the goalkeeper or his soft target.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's a lot of plays like that, man, in our team, man. But they're not like what you're saying. Like with Kudus, like he can be that the game changer. I don't think Palmer's that guy. I think he will improve like in a year or two or something.
Yeah.
Jackson is true, like what you're saying. Like I think we have to like discuss like what he does like when Nkunku comes, but Nkunku is gonna be like, he's gonna have like a lot of pressure on him, like because everyone's like expecting a lot of big things, man.
I know. I hope we're gonna be nice to him, but I'm not expecting it. I feel like if he underperforms in the first game, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think people have the patience.
Yeah, man. Like, to be honest, like everyone has been underwhelming. Like, not even that. Like, Cole's been underwhelming because I think he's been playing out of position.
Yeah.
I think he'll do a lot better if we played like 3 at the back with like Cole like driving up a bit.
Yeah.
Like how Rudiger was doing. Like,
yeah. Facts.
That's what I think. Anyways, I think we should finish off the season like with back 5, but more attacking, flowing. Like maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Nah.
We have to score first, bro, every game, man. Because I don't think our team like when we concede, that's it. Like, I think
it's over. That's it. I think the confidence, that the mental game just kind of falls apart. You know what I mean? Players start making the wrong decisions. They lose confidence in front of goal, and I feel like as a fan base, we've always known for years that we have to get the first goal to like boost our chances of winning. Like, we're not like the old teams that we can mount these comebacks. Like, if the op scored against us first, you just know straight away, cool, our time will come, we'll get back in the game. We're not that team anymore for a long time.
Like, but who should we get, like, if we're like getting experience? Like, to be honest, like, no one with experience will come to this like team that's going downhill, man. Like, unless they're like into retirement or something.
Yeah. So
you know what I mean?
I mean, the market right now, I'm not seeing many options, and I kind of feel like, because this has been like the popular question tonight, I might have to do a video talking about who are these experienced players that Portugal bring in, like top 5 experienced players come in January or something. I don't know, but yeah, I think Pochettino maybe he might have an idea behind who he wants in the squads. And I said it to the last caller, but the only thing I'm seeing in the press conference, you know, post-match press conferences, is him complaining about not scoring, not taking our chances, not converting. And maybe you might think, listen, I've got too many kids up front who can't, you know, they panic on goal. Like they don't take their shots early enough. They take an extra touch every single time. I think guys like Noni and Palmer, for sure, they're susceptible to having to, like, they need like the perfect amount of space first before they take a shot. And that's like, you look at like a Kudus, for example. these guys, they score from half chances. They open up a split yard of space for themselves, and they're taking that shot instantly. So, is that the type of profiles we need?
Yeah, obviously we need like I don't believe in this like confidence thing and everything, because I think like to be honest, like anyone can like finish like with one-on-one chance or try get on target. Like it's not a hard thing. Like they're getting paid millions like to actually like improve in their job, but they're like declining. So I don't really see them being like a big, like what everyone's saying, like Modric being a star boy and everything. He lost the ball like 10 times every game. Like I don't know. Like Madueke hasn't been given like much chance, but I was actually happy with him like last year. Like he actually done well with like Arsenal. He done well with like Newcastle. Like he done well like other games, but I don't think he's gonna be like that Kudus sort of player. Like, but yeah, like even Jackson, I don't rate him personally, but it's not his fault, innit?
Yeah, I get it. I think at the same time, we're not used to watching young strikers playing up front for us. And I say this all the time. If we had Drogba at 22 or Costa at 22, I don't think we would have liked these guys. And I don't think we would have thought these guys would be world-class strikers. So I can like sympathize towards these young guys, because it's like the pressure is so much higher right now that, you know, any mistake you make would be magnified. And I think that plays a part in the mental confidence a little bit, not gonna lie. You know, I think this is why a lot of times these guys have to like go to your like, you know, your Brightons or your Spurs or your Romas or whatever before they're ready to go to like the big clubs. You know what I mean? So if we're gonna be committing towards signing all these young guys, I hope the environment's gonna be good for these guys to grow. You know, that's all I can ask for.
I'm just waiting for like these guys like Paez and all of them like 16-year-olds. Like I feel like they're gonna need some time to acclimatize like to England and everything. So everyone's gonna expect like big things from them as well.
Yeah.
If we don't improve with that by that time, I don't think we will, personally, unless we start like becoming serious again, like try signing more like major signings. Like doesn't even have to be big names. Like Ollie Watkins can like do the job for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like but a lot of people won't see that as a vital signing because of his name, innit? Like if it was someone else like from Brazil, they'll be like, oh yeah, let's just
sexier.
Yeah, sexier. Like Watkins will easily get us like scoring goals, like winning like games like maybe in the 90th minute or something like that. Any like even what's his name, Diaby, that winger from Aston Villa. I wanted him as well.
Yeah,
but we missed out on a lot of trying like players, man.
Exactly. Like we missed
to
out
these, like experimental players. Man.
Exactly, because like a lot of those players, they're like between like 24 to 25, but like they're on the cusp of like hitting their prime years, and I feel like they're better equipped to be at this level, if you know what I mean. And it's no surprise that, you know, you're talking about two guys from Aston Villa having great seasons right now. I mean, you know, it adds up. I think a lot of times when we lose games like today, we're not getting outplayed by Everton. Everton aren't playing the best game of their season. I say this all the time, but we're losing games because we can't, you know, we can't manage them. You know, we lose them in moments. You know, one little silly mistake, one goal we can see gets our confidence down. You know what I mean? And then we can't get back in the game again. And
that's what I mean. Like I thought like we changed like these past few weeks, like after we done like a 4-4 like with CU and everything. I thought we changed like the mentality. I thought like started like changing, but I think like they just went back to like last season, mate.
Back to reality, to be honest. It's been humbling. I'm not gonna lie. We rode the high just for a little bit, you know. Spurs, and even the Spurs game. I know that a lot of people weren't happy with my opinion on the game, but I couldn't gas that type of win because against 9 men for 45 minutes. I mean, we were shit for like, you know, most of the game. I'm sorry, like I still can't accept that win. To be fair with you, but I gotta be honest. But the City game, you're thinking, okay, against the big boys, and then after that, the same old, man. But anyway, my guy, do you have any final questions or points you want to make?
Experienced players won't help, man. That's it.
Okay, experience.
That's it, man. Won't help. I don't think so, man. I think Pochettino just has to be ruthless and like just like start dropping people, like stop dropping players, and like just try play players on their own position, like play to their strengths. Don't do like experimentals like Cucurella on the right, because it doesn't support the wingers. Like even Colwell like has to drop back, like he's too stiff like in the wing. Like
no, you're right. They're the little things, like I think to myself, is that going to boost our chances of winning by like 50%? Probably not. But you're thinking that's going to help a bit more compared to like forcing this same system where we're not really seeing the benefits of seeing Colwell at left back, because we don't, bro. Like, I think to myself, we got Badiashile, we got Colwell, two of the best young ball progressors for their age, right? When do we ever use their passing range in our team? Like, Colwell can pin it from 70 yards. I can't remember the last time I saw him play a long ball, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. We should go back to like back five ball, like be more like attacking wise, isn't it? Like just put Colwell like driving like through the like midfield and stuff. But it is what it is anyways. We'll see what happens anyway.
Yeah, let's see. Sheffield United, I mean, one more L against them, and
a manager bounce, mate.
Yeah,
manager bounce. That's it.
It could be
I can
bit...
see already we're gonna lose like 1-0.
Bro, nah. But anyway, Hamza, man, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your thoughts, man. Obviously, that good night's sleep on and that, and I'll hopefully talk again soon.
All right, mate. Take care,
man. But to everyone that wants to call right now, apologies, my friends. I'm gonna wrap things up. I think 1:30 is the time for all of us to go to bed. Like, come on, we got responsibilities tomorrow, no? We can't be talking about football up through the early hours of the morning. I'll be lost today. Why do you have the energy right now? But anyway, outside of that, my friends, appreciate everyone that's come on today. Appreciate everyone in the chat, all the viewers. Shout out to Haj, like been telling a few jokes today on stream. Not gonna lie, I've had to catch me out a few times, but I still kept that composure. But my friends, it's been really fun hearing you guys come on, have your thoughts and opinions, and share them. And I definitely want to do a lot more of these throughout the season, so I can just like share our accounts of how the season's gonna turn out, basically. But man, it's been fun. It's been I thought I'd be a lot more tired than I actually am right now, so I kind of, it's testament to the quality of callers I've had today, like a lot of good discussion. And if you guys want to see more of this, of course, the like button is, comments, all that good stuff. And hopefully next time you guys, you'll get your say and your chance to come and talk. And one more time, apologies to people I missed today, and I'll get better with the format of this for sure. So my friends, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you to all the super chats, the involvement, all the love. NiiNiiFC, this is Blue Line CV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.